the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X gaming show. Tune in where the thoughts flow. Rant and rave with words that glow. Weekly stories make them go.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sarge McCluskey. What's going on, bro?
A dry cough that won't go away.
Well, you sound better.
Yeah, I'm feeling much better, except for that incident this morning with the sneezing with a gummy in my mouth.
Oh, I thought you were joking when you said the.
No, I have zinc. I got zinc and some vitamin C that are gummies, right?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So I was chewing them, and just as I swallowed, I sneezed, and it launched into the back of my throat, into my fucking nasal cavity. So I had a gummy thing that was partially chewed,
like
inside
stuck behind,
in my head. In my head, right? And I didn't know what to do. I was in panic mode. I was like, what's going on? Am I going to have an aneurysm right now? I didn't know, right? So I think it was Brainchild or somebody else in chat was like, you're going to have to snort that back, bro. You're going to have to. And I tried to blow it out like a.
Oh, no, you can't blow it out. You got to blow it. You got to suck it in.
I got to snort it back. Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was horrible. Absolutely one of the most horrible things. It still feels like there's something in my brain, but I know
you probably damaged. Yeah.
Horrendous.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrendous.
That's right. You got brain damage now. You're all good. You're all good. What's going on, chat? Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast, goes over a few of the top stories of the past week, and we rant along the way. We talk about gummies up our noses and stuff. We're here live Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and anywhere else a podcast is listened to through your ear holes. You can also watch our past broadcast right here on youtube.com/30nsg. We also on this channel do live streams in the morning, Monday through Thursday. It's called The Daily Grind. Check those out. It's a live show for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to get you through a couple of hours your day. We just go over news stories live on the air, give you my thoughts and opinions on those things, and then get your thoughts and opinions in the live chat, just like it is here. On today's show, Sarge, we have lots of stuff going on. We're going to be talking about IGN writer that's going to deduct points because of reasons of, doesn't like Trump, doesn't like the Gulf of America now. So if you have, we'll talk about that. Okay, we're going to talk about Crowded House came in earlier today in our morning stream for at the very end, and asked me what I thought about the Kerry Patel director, which is the game director at Obsidian for Avowed, right? He said that I watched this video, and I said I did not watch the video, but I did see a screenshot of Todd Howard and Kerry Patel's resumes, right, off of IMDb or whatever. And basically what we're going to talk about is there's a lot going on at Obsidian. The game Avowed just came out, early access right now. If you paid either $40 if you have Game Pass, or if you paid $100 if you don't have Game Pass, you get 5 days early access. You can play the game early. There's reviews out. Some people are having a shit time. Some people are having fun with the game. So, it's just a normal launch of a game, basically. So we'll talk about that. Is she qualified enough to be inside the game industry, right? And we'll, each their own. So I'll give you my opinion from a entertainment point of view, because I worked in the film industry for 20 years. I came across these people all the time that weren't qualified or overqualified or not qualified at all. And I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on that.
That's what they do.
We're going to talk about Bobby Kotick. Says he's never have raised World of Warcraft subscriptions, but not by even $1, because it's prickly audience. You don't want to do too much to agitate them. Okay. So we'll talk about that.
He's smoking $100 bills. He doesn't care.
Right.
His deal went through on the good side. Remember, either way that deal was going to go through, he was either going to get 30 million or he was getting 300 million. We remember we made fun of
Right.
it for a year. It's called Brewster's Millions.
Well,
Remember
no, it was
Brewster's
three. It was
Millions?
3 million. It's 3
No,
million
it
if
was
you did
not
nothing.
3. It was not 3. It was 30. It was 30 if they fucked up. 300
if you
if they
made
went
it.
through
Right,
it.
right, 300 million.
Right. That's why we called it Brewster's Millions for a year. Right. You ever watch Brewster's Millions? Brewster's Millions
Of
was.
course, I did.
He had to go through $30 million in 30 days. Right. To get 300 million. That's
right. He couldn't own anything,
and he couldn't own anything.
Yeah, he couldn't own anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Battlefield Labs addresses the biggest problem with Battlefield franchise. I talked about this earlier, Sarge, but I want to get your opinion on this. We're going to talk about every PC and Xbox game shown during the Sony PlayStation State of Play. We'll talk about State of Play. What was there? Like 28, 30 games were shown. Half of those, more than half,
It's a good chunk of games
are coming out for all platforms, right? So we'll talk about that as well.
Not every game's going to be a banger. Yeah,
No.
There's going to be down years.
Yeah.
Before the blockbusters come back out again. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. Can you make yourself just a little louder on your
Make myself louder?
Yeah, just make yourself just a little bit louder. We're going to talk about WB Games struggles even worse than reported before about the Wonder Woman game, which got rebooted last year. So we're going to talk about that if we have time. Microsoft might also legit publish more games on the PlayStation 5 than PlayStation 5 themselves. We're going to talk about Sony's quarterly, what they've did for the last quarter. We'll talk about shipped or sold, Sarge, because a lot of people are confused by shipped and sold. Because I said they shipped and not sold, people think I'm shitting on Sony, but no, this is just how financials work when they ship stuff, and we'll talk about when it gets from them to Target or Walmart. We'll talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about Electronic Arts almost owned Call of Duty and Blizzard. So that's interesting. I didn't read that article yet, but I saw the article's title and was like, ooh, that'll be fun. We're going to talk about Sony's film industry side, okay? Because Kraven the Hunter was the last movie to come out, Sarge, and it bombed miserably. I think it gave Borderlands the movie a run for its money. That's how bad Kraven was. And we're also going to talk about the Unreal Engine 5 engineers are looking to solve the problems many modern game developers have with its engine. And other than that, we just have a little other kind of stories. Survey reveals that almost 80% of devs don't test their games. I mean, I think we knew this one, right? Every game that comes out is broke, buggy, unfinished, live service game. It takes 6, 8, 12, 18 months to fix. So not a surprise that 80% of the devs don't do that. So other than that, if you like what we do here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. First up, Sarge, is what we've been playing. So let me get that ready for us here. Dean brings it up. I totally forgot that whole thing's going on, and it's starting to creep into the video game space because Politico, right? Because the U.S. aid was.
Let's not go down that hallway.
No, I know, but I'm just saying I totally forgot about that.
All you need to know is that it's proven that the government is paying the media to talk a specific way about a narrative. That's all you need to know.
Yeah,
we don't need to go down the hallway yet.
That's the clip note version.
If you want to know more, you're welcome to go on the website and look at all the pages that they have listed.
It's
of
insane.
Who's paying who?
Yeah, it's insane.
Right? That's all you got to do. Don't worry. We don't have to have a discussion about it. As a matter of fact, I think it's probably better to let this stew another couple weeks and let everybody read all the pages of all the things that Elon's nerd crew is finding, and then we'll discuss it. Because right now it's too emotional. Everyone's like, you're not thinking straight. You're not like, oh, this is real. This is not fantasy world anymore.
Right. We're not in the Matrix.
Real.
Yeah, this is real.
This is real now. Right. This is real.
So another week, another games played. What did you play the last week, Sarge? Anything new? Anything exciting? Did you try anything different?
I got to be honest. The flu kicked my ass, and my brain is like misfired the entire week. The only things that I played that kept me busy was a few RTS games. I was playing Spice Wars again. I was playing against some competitive Axis and Allies board game stuff, maybe for the last couple days because that's easy. And then I played maybe like another hour or two of Baldur's Gate, but I couldn't get into it because my brain was in like that fog, and I couldn't focus on anything. It made me crazy. I progressed a little bit further in come on, brain, Final Fantasy 12, right? And now I'm just trying to figure out what jobs to pick proper to coincide with the jobs I already picked. And I think I'm going to have to go online and look because I'm trying to balance out my Magic users before I go into the final battles because my guys are a little off. I'm getting killed for stupid reasons, and I just think that the jobs are not clicking.
And what game was this for? I'm sorry, because I was looking up something real fast.
Oh, Final Fantasy 12, the old, the remake, the Zodiac Age is because the remake version was called the Zodiac Age, with the jobs updated and whatnot. I mean, I want to play a bunch of stuff, but it's like there's too much shit going on right now, right? There's just way too much shit going on. Like my brain
the state of play what they showed. There's like so many games coming out in September, so it's like February, a sprinkle across the year, and then it's like September, the chunk of it happens.
Some PlayStation people might be upset, right? I looked at that as saying they got a nice group of games coming out. They're going to be on multiple platforms. Are they bangers for hardcore gamers? Probably not. However, there is a numerous selection to keep people occupied. I mean, let's not forget, there's a lot of fucking games.
There's so many games,
right? Like
so many games.
The games that interest you might not interest somebody else, but there's still a lot of fucking games. It's ridiculous.
There is so many
games.
There's so many samurai games for all platforms. I don't care if you're on PlayStation, if you're on Xbox, if you're on PC. There's like samurai games coming out of the woodwork, man. It's just like they're oozing out. I'm like, how many samurai games has everybody been working on the last 3 to 4 years?
Well, it's not that they've been working on them. It's that the remakes, the
Ninja
Gaiden,
there's remakes,
the Shinobi,
hey,
listen, I'm fine with it, right? Yeah. Give yourself a minute, and if you're paying attention to games, I know some of the guys in chat they pay attention over the years, and just kind of follow the flow. Like if you follow only Xbox games, follow the flow. Like what games came out, when were the bangers, and what were like the super AAA games came out, and like just what's the flow. They have to balance things out. They have to get like a nice little thing going so they have people in the ecosystem throughout the year, right? The fact that more than half of the games that PlayStation announced are going to be on multiple platforms should tell you everything you need to know about stop crying about first-party titles and just enjoy the game where you want to play it. I get you want your super banger game on your PlayStation. I get it, right? Everybody wants their own little coveted piece to hug and to squeeze and to call George. But at the same time, that's really good for them to release that many games across multiple platforms because more people will buy them.
Well, that's not PlayStation's choice. That's the third-party developers that want to start making more money across the platforms.
It doesn't matter. If you had the discussion earlier today, right? Xbox doesn't care about hardware. Yeah, it's there and it exists, and you guys can argue about it for the next 6 hours and have a good time talking about it. But they're a software company, right? Why would I want to sell a piece of hardware and lose $150 on it when I can sell Play Anywhere games and let them buy wherever they want? Like, I just want you to spend money. Businesses are here to collect money.
Pedro Pascal's A Samurai game has been announced. I swear to God.
I fucking hate that man, dude. He's right. He's
everywhere.
Listen, whatever his agent is doing a great job because it's like I guarantee you in his contract it says if the movie makes over a certain percentage, he gets another picture deal. Right?
Oh, for sure.
It's gotta be because this motherfucker is in everything now.
I went to everything. I went to a con this past week. I went to a MegaCon here in Orlando, and as soon as I walked in, the very first booth.
Was he there?
I don't know if
was he signing autographs?
No, he might have been there. I don't know. But as soon as I walked in, there was a booth, and it had this giant banner. Okay, it had this giant banner, and it here. You know what? I'll just bring it up on the screen. Let me bring it up on the screen real fast.
Bring it up on the screen. You actually transferred photos?
No, I posted it in the Discord.
Yeah, what did you go for anyway though? Like, what did you go for?
I just went. It was local. Where did I post?
Listen, I'm happy for him that he's got work. Don't get me wrong, but when I see your face in every other movie, I don't want to look at you anymore.
I get tired of it, right?
I don't want to look at you anymore. Listen, I'm happy he got his little start in The Mandalorian. I thought that was kind of cool, but then he's like, "You got to show my face so I can get a contract."
I can't find it. All right,
it's a good song, isn't it, Mo? You have to admit it's a good song.
Oh, you pay, I play. Yeah,
it's a good song.
Here, I'll just bring it up on the. I'll bring it up on here. This is the picture, Sarge.
I like the little poster of your Crazy Under Nintendo song in the 30 and Still Jammin'.
This is a giant poster.
That looks like Juan Valdez, man.
Well, that's what it is. You can just see the mustache, right? You can see the mustache.
Looks like Juan Valdez. I don't know what you're showing
anyway,
me.
It's a big giant banner, and on it says "Daddy's here." It says,
does it say vote
"Let
Pedro?
Daddy hold your hand."
Does it say vote? Does it say vote for Pedro?
And it's got Pedro's head on it. It was pretty funny. I was like, Jesus Christ! I was like, I can't get away from this guy. I was like, he's following me around.
I mean, his agent's doing a hell of a job. I mean, he's collecting checks, boy. His agent is collecting checks.
He's him, and there's another person that's in like everything. There's a female that's in everything now too. Anyway, and what else have you been playing, Sarge?
That was it, man. It's been a rough week. Tomorrow's going to be the next couple of days are going to be like really busy at work. So it's like the Super Bowl of restaurant days, Valentine's Day. So I'm planning on Sunday to I'm going to pick a couple of games that I haven't played, and I want to sit down and I think I'm going to take a gummy and just fucking relax all day after this hell weekend starts. I really want to play Baldur's Gate 3.
So
that's what I really want to play.
So I played a little bit of Battlefield 1. We've been playing that a little bit.
That was fun, man.
It's such a good game.
We got to learn it. We were not playing together though. We were in the same squad, but we were not playing together.
Oh, we were playing pretty
rusty.
close. Like Luke was by me. No, but Luke was by me most of the time.
But when you play on maps like that, you're supposed to be all going the same direction and calling out everything in that same little quadrant.
I was
right.
I was telling you everything everywhere where people were. So playing that, I'm playing a game called Eternal Strand, which is I pushed it off for like 3 weeks just because I was playing other things.
That was the new one that just came out though, wasn't it?
It came out like 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah. It's a Game Pass game. It's also, you don't have to play it on Game Pass. And I have to say it's a small group of people that are making. I think it's like 30 or 60 developers that are making this game. Brain Eclipse was telling me it's ex-developers that were at BioWare. Okay. And so the game is fun, but the combat is a little rough. Okay, if you want to call it, Salty says, or Dustin says the game is janky. Could be janky.
Which one's janky? The Avowed or Eternal
I'm not even talking about Avowed. I'm talking about
Eternal
Strand. Eternal Strand. The sometimes your character is just like, you cling to everything, right? So you can climb anything. It's sort of like the Breath of the Wild type of mechanic where you can climb rocks.
Are you sticky? You're grabbing stuff when you don't want to.
Yeah. So here, I'll play some stuff. There's bosses on the all over the place. They're actually pretty good. It's pretty fun. This is about 4-6 hours into the game or something like that, but between 4 and 6 hours. Where I'm playing the game, see how I'm like stepping on stuff and it just like, there's no animation. You just kind of like jump on top of things. Now I got to climb on him to start damaging him at certain places and whatnot. It's a big giant. And you got to break off his armor and stuff.
Like a little bit like the Colossus game.
Yeah. Shadows of Colossus and stuff. Yeah. So it's a fun little game. I wish they should start with this. Okay. If they started with this, people would be like, this is awesome. Right. But before you even get to this, it's very slow. Lots of dialogue. I like dialogue and stuff, but I can tell a lot of people are out way before they even get to this part. You know what I'm saying? There's boss fights like this. There's a dragon. There's like a giant lizard that you're fighting. It almost feels like Monster Hunter-esque type of stuff because you're killing these guys and you're getting resources from them so you can make better gear and better
That's a
weapons,
Monster Hunter mechanic,
right?
Yeah, that's a Monster Hunter mechanic.
Overall, see how I got like pushed back? I'm just like, it's like very floaty sometimes. It's like it feels good, and then all of a sudden it breaks like your immersion for a little bit, right?
Well, let's not forget that you play a lot of different games, so a lot of things that you're comfortable with, when you don't run into the same comfortability, it acts like that to you. Like it feels that way to you, right? You're used to playing a specific type of game on a specific
emotion.
It
just feels really loose. It feels like you're skating sometimes. It feels like See, like he just hit me and I got pushed back, but it's not like a animation. It's just like you get pushed back and you're just like this element in the, you know what I mean? Like you're just sliding back.
There was no animation for the contact of pushing you back. You just
right. You just get shoved
aside.
back. Yeah.
Right.
Just like you. Yeah. So it's little things. It's little things like that. Well, if you want to call it janky.
Well, in their defense, right? That's the way they get around it. Instead of it being glitchy and you go through the guy and you get pushed around, they just kind of brushed you aside. They use that as a shortcut in order for the game to move a little smoother, right?
Well,
that's just it's a development tool.
Well, I'm thinking this game needed about another 8 months to cook.
That's probably true.
Right? Oh, this is cool right here. I yanked this heart basically out of him. Oh, no, he knocks me down, then I do it again later.
You're doing surgery?
Yeah, you rip out this his energy from him, his soul from him, and then he dies. Right, you have to break off his armor, and then this appears, and then you yank it out, and then he dies, and you get the pieces from him, which is it's pretty cool. Like there are cool moments.
But why is he letting you? Why isn't he just freaking out right there?
Because it's like, I don't know, if I grabbed you by the balls, you know what I mean? You would be like, ah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I
don't know about you, but if you grab me by my balls, I'm starting to swing.
Well, it all depends on, if whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he's not hitting you, because of you got him by the balls or in his chest. So it's cool. There's moments in this game that are really cool. The dragon fight was pretty fun. The dragon fight, now I don't know if I have it on this particular video, Sarge. There was a dragon I fought. Yeah, right here. Is this the second time or the first time? I think this is there was a moment I'm fighting, and then I didn't know, like I froze him, and then I rode him. Okay. Where is he? It's the first time or second time. I think this is the first time. This is a long, really shitty battle. Let me go to the second time I fought him. Let's see here. Oh, that's the third boss. Here, I'll show you that boss. There's different bosses. So, like I said, it's a fun game. Lots of dialogue. Voice acting is good. Combat feels good sometimes. Like you can make your heavy weapons, your sword and shield. You got an arrow. I'm about 6.5 hours into the game right now. I don't know how long the game is.
30 hours probably.
You got magic abilities. You can freeze. You have this this ability where it's like explosive. I make this bubble around people. And as long as I hold it and then aim at it again, it explodes on them. It like sucks in a vortex of things around it.
I got skill tree. Is there a skill tree?
There's no skill tree, but you unlock this like magic abilities and stuff like that.
Different weapon combinations give you different abilities?
Not that I know of yet, right? Okay. But there's I'm using a big cleaver right now, okay? Or I can use a sword and shield. I can use my magic abilities. As you unlock stuff, it's a fun game. For Game Pass. I know that sounds like derogatory.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the day where you guys just stop saying that. Just call it a game and move on, and stop saying it.
So,
it's a good
game
here
you go.
Game Pass. How about it's just a good game?
I mean, it is a fun game, but if you're going to pay $70, I don't think this game is $70. I think it's $30 or $40, which I think is worth the price.
The idea is to make you buy Game Pass. That's the whole point.
Right now, it's $6.
You can play it.
Well, I'm 6 hours in. When I'm done completing the game, I'll let you know if it's worth the full price. It's definitely worth Game Pass.
Well, that's all subjective as well, right?
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Oh, and we all know that Game Pass dictates how much money they're going to get based on engagement and whatnot, to how it works. And I'm glad the development team got noticed, and it's on the forefront of Game Pass, and people are talking about it. That's as a development team who's small, that's what you want anyway. It's all positive. That's good.
So, as you can tell,
it doesn't have to be like the best game on earth, but it's a decent game.
Yeah, no, I'm having fun with it. I have 4 abilities right now. Okay. Then I can unlock another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So there's 9 abilities total. Okay. And then you can upgrade each one of these 3 times, I think, right? So it gets more powerful and does more things. So I have this one right here grabs people. So I can grab it and then like chuck them. This one puts like a vortex, like a black hole around them, and it explodes.
So what's the ability with the strands? Is there an offensive ability with the strands besides pulling stuff out of people's chests, or is there something else?
No, that's not an ability.
do the strands do something for you in combat wise?
That your
Like,
whole-
can you tie
your-
people up or jump around? Can you like do a
that I
lasso
know of?
move?
That might be other abilities. The strands
Okay.
that you see on the bosses is just like some of when you're attacking them, it just comes off of you and attaches to them. That's a passive type of thing, but I don't think it does anything.
It's got to do something, otherwise they wouldn't have made an animation.
Not
for
right
it.
now. It doesn't do anything.
Okay.
Right. Usually the weapons that you have there. I don't like the to shoot the bow and arrow when you're playing the game. It's RB, right? It's not the trigger. It's RB. Maybe you can change it, but the fact is that you have to RB. It automatically like aims, and then you shoot, and you can hold it a little longer to do a little bit more depth. I have a flame bow now. I've upgraded my shield and sword, and I've upgraded my cleaver. As well. Lots of resources, lots of different I shouldn't say companions because they don't go on missions with you, but there's lots of things to upgrade, lots of things at the base camp to upgrade, so you can get better crafting, reforging, upgrade their stations to do better stuff. There's a lot of depth to the game. My biggest complaint is the combat at times, not all the time. It feels good, but then when you notice, like when I get hit or something, I slide like I'm on ice.
I gotta be honest with you. If that's the worst thing about combat, that they push you out of the way and there's no like glitchiness or going through a wall or something, all I do is kind of push you out of the way, I'll take it.
Yeah, you'll like if you walk, all of a sudden you just kind of like you don't hop over anything. You just kind of end up on top of the thing, and then you come off. It's kind of weird. But I'm playing that, and I'm enjoying it. And I think I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna play Avowed on Tuesday when it comes out. But then I think I'm going to put Avowed on the back burner for a second and complete this game and finish this game. Because I know if I don't finish this game...
That depends if Avowed pulls you in or not.
Right. But if it pulls me in, then I'll finish that game and then come back to this game. But if I don't finish a game, then it's just going to go on the back burner.
All the footage I see of Avowed is with a wand and a flintlock pistol. Like, is that your thing? Or can you use a sword and something else?
No, I saw a guy
and wand.
I saw a guy running around with a mace, and every time he did something, he was doing this, and then he would hit people.
Oh, so okay. So I want to make sure it wasn't like
you could dual wield maces. Okay. You can get pistols.
Just asking because all the footage I keep seeing has a wand and a gun. So I didn't know if it was a range game.
Yeah, there's a wand. Yeah, there's a gun. There's a mace. There's a sword. A staff. All right, cool. Yeah, but yeah. So that's called Eternal Strands. That's about the thing I'm playing. I'm playing Marvel Rivals still. I'm still enjoying Marvel Rivals. But yeah, that's pretty much it for what I've been playing. So let's get over to the top stories. Altern says probably the best gear is a wand and gun. Maybe. Yeah, Sarge Kudapapa says, I'm using an axe with a wand. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff you can do. So the footage I saw, I don't know anything about it. I didn't read reviews. I saw people talking about reviews, and it looks like it's like a 50-50 split for what I've seen, right? I haven't looked. I think, obviously, IGN gave it a 7. It's a 7 out of 10. Okay.
That's
other people I've seen as high as like a 9.5. I've seen as low as a 4. Okay, so each their own, right?
I can't trust any news guys anymore. Period.
Yeah, I haven't read any.
I will
reviews.
wait. I will wait for actual gamers to play the game and talk about it. I'll watch that.
I know. I think Reforge didn't like. He said it was very stuttery, drop frames. He was having issues. Travis sent me a video of Luke Stevens. I watched a little bit of it. He was talking about his was completely and utterly. This is what he said. It's a good game. I don't recommend it, and it's broke. And I went, hold up a second. It's a good game. I don't recommend it, and it's broke. Right? So it's like, well, which one is it? Is it a good game or is it broke?
No, he just went through the process of what happened to him.
Right.
The parts he played were good, but it broke. And
he likes the game, yeah. So he likes the game, but there was game-breaking glitches where his save wouldn't load, and he had to go back 5 hours to, continue.
That's a big one for me, bro.
That's never play a game again for me.
If I play for 5 hours and I lose 5 hours, I might not play anymore.
Like, right. If I lose 5 hours of my time, I'm done.
I don't like you wasting my time.
Yeah,
Right?
that's exactly how I am.
This is the entire reason why I don't get games day one. I don't care anymore. Like I zero care. Don't care.
Crude Papa says, granted, I have a 4090. It's running native 4K with epic settings and RTX. No issues so far. Yeah, I think it's one of these things. And I don't say they're not happening.
Is it a resource hog?
My problem with any game, not just Avowed, if a game comes out, I said this at the tail end of my morning stream. If a game comes out 5 days early and people paid extra money, meaning if you have Game Pass but you don't buy the early edition of the game, you have Game Pass, you pay $40 to get the game 5 days early. If you don't have Game Pass, you pay $100 to get the game early, okay, for 5 days. And if they don't put a day 0 patch in or a day 1 patch in for these people, and the game's breaking and glitching and
Money back.
not saving,
Money back.
that's I'm sorry.
Refund.
You're dead to me. Okay, I will never go play your game again if I purchased it for $100 and then it broke where it wasted my 5 hours of time. Okay, like if it's 5 days early, release the day 1 patch 5 days early to fix the shit that you have. Right. So that's my big thing with any game that comes out 5 days early. It's unexcusable if it's broke.
These are the same guys who made Outer Worlds, right? The guys who made the guy
Outer Worlds, New Vegas,
right?
Yeah.
So you expect a little jank, right?
Krebsy says, Luke said that the devs wouldn't allow him to show a certain area. He says that area enemies move at 15 frames per second, keeps crashing, etc. Well, here's the thing. I didn't watch that far into the video, Krebsy.
Day 2 patch, probably.
But he played it before what people are playing now, meaning he had it before patch 0 or patch 1. And with the embargo not being lifted, maybe that section before those patches came through is why it did, and that's why they didn't want you to show it. That happens all the time with all of these games that come out where they have embargoes and stuff. Remember, Cyberpunk wouldn't let you show certain things, right? And look what happened with that, right? So,
I mean, I guess I'll start to care Wednesday or Thursday after the first couple of days go.
Yeah, like Tuesday is when it comes out.
I'll look at it.
So overall, you know, it is what it is. I'll play it for myself and tell you if it's good or bad. Because look, remember I played Fallout 76 and I didn't have any major issues with that game. Meanwhile, Skill Up's whole game was melting.
I didn't have any problems the first 80 hours until I got stuck in my armor. I've heard this story 1,000 times.
No, I know, but Skill Up
stuck in my armor, couldn't move. Ended the game.
Skill Up melted. His game was like melting. The lights were shining through the ground. He couldn't do anything.
Was he playing on PC?
He was playing. I think he was playing on PC. Yeah.
What I always love about PC games that start to fuck up is that depending on what kind of machine you're actually running, the different fuck ups happen. Right?
Sure, based on what your graphics. But he has a top end graphics card.
Acid trip or logging out or all kinds of stuff. It makes it interesting.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's start off with Bobby Kotick, right? Let's start off with Bobby Kotick here.
Why do you even talk about this guy?
Because it's a news story, and we're news.
He's doing anything.
Yeah, he's not doing anything, but he was in an interview. He was on a podcast, so we got some information from Bobby Kotick, right? Bobby Kotick says, and I haven't read this article, so this is the first time I'm reading it. Bobby Kotick says that he's never have raised World of Warcraft subscription by even $1 because it's prickly audience. Okay, does that mean prickly audience? Does that mean he's calling us a bunch of assholes? Is that what he's calling
how nice of him to say this.
What a nice
he's not involved anymore.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell me for a fucking minute he wasn't going to raise the price of fucking WoW.
He wanted to.
Shut the fuck up.
Look at him. He wanted to raise the price.
Listen, when I have $300 million in the bank, all right, I'll say whatever I want to, right? But don't tell me for a moment you weren't going to raise a price ever. Get the fuck out of here.
He says, a thing I noticed, Observer's host, Bing Gordon, at one point, nobody who's ever left Blizzard seems to have done great. There's some secret sauce there, which is also obvious that over a simplification situation, hundreds of hugely talented but lesser-known names have come and gone at Blizzard over the decades, but it's clear that what he's driving at is Gordon's name-centered senior leadership like Mike Morhaime or Chris Metzen, which also has a sense of nobody's really left Blizzard and created a new Blizzard or even something close to it. So he's saying that no one's ever left the company and made something better than Blizzard. Blizzard is like the top, right? He says Kotick felt that
the fucking trash fire right now. What are you talking about?
Kotick felt
once again, hilarious that this guy can sit from his ivory tower and say, "Can never be beaten. My minions could never be misfortuned.
I have the
get the fuck outta
greatest
here.
kingdom ever.
Get the fuck out of here.
Kodak felt such the environment was doing Blizzard any favors. He had led the stagnation around the studio's golden goose. Necessarily context for the start of the next response. Activision merged with French media publisher Vendia, who from Activision Blizzard in 2008. Before 5 years later, Activision Blizzard spent $8.2 million buying back the majority of the shares from the company. He's then also traded for the company and said, "My views of World of Warcraft is going to continue," says Kodak, "but you have to make it less taxing and demanding of your time because it couldn't enjoy it and be competitive without playing for 4 hours a day, and people age out and they have kids and you just couldn't play it." So, but the game
in the normal world, we just call that time, Bobby. Stop talking for 10 minutes and just say the word time, Bobby.
So he says, but the game's broad appeal was obvious, and the business model had proven masterstroke. Even inevitable players did age out. He says, "I know I did." And you'll be shocked, says Kodak. 150 million people churned out World of Warcraft over the history. 150 million people. That's nuts. That's a crazy number. Those were people paying $15 a month, and it was the best subscription business of all time. I think it's still the best business of all time.
At the time it came out, yes. Absolutely.
I think it's still. I don't think
agree
any
with you.
MMO has ever hit that number in any shape, way, or form, right?
I agree.
So at this point, the host of the show's favorite amongst gamers suggests that the only issue was that World of Warcraft subscriptions could have been priced more highly, okay, or more higher. Surprisingly enough, Kodak pushes back against his idea and says only because he thinks it's a better ways to monetize such an audience. Okay, he says we'll never raise the price. My view was it become up a value-added service, come up with new things to sell, but just leave the price. We could figure out how to come up with other things to sell them. And it's prickly audience, you know. You don't want to just do too much to agitate them. And even the dollar increase, you've made a problem in my view. Right? So, okay, Bobby, let's say you didn't want to raise the price, but now you're charging microtransactions left and fucking right on top of the $15, right?
Well, but that's okay. That's okay, right? Right? It's the one thing you can discuss and not use the word inflation, right? World of Warcraft was $15 20 years ago. It's still $15 with inflation. So what's the deal? You're getting a deal, right? You're getting a deal. It's still $15. What do you mean? Do you mean that inflation doesn't work in a subscription model? Well, no. If I keep selling you microtransactions up your ass for the last 25 years, then the $15 is basically the entrance fee.
Look at this guy's face. Look at him.
Yeah, I have $300 million in the bank. Right?
Yeah.
Right,
I didn't charge
Krusty.
that.
Right, Krusty. $95 amounts. It's awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to charge. I don't want to raise $1 for the microtransaction or for the service.
Listen to his thought process. I would never try to raise the price of the World of Warcraft subscription because we might piss somebody off. You got that $200 amount? Sell that shit. Like, what are you talking about, Bobby? What are you talking about?
I would never raise the price. $95 amount. Yeah.
Fuck out of here. Who believes this shit? Who believes that shit?
He's the good guy. What you're doing. He's the good guy in his own movie.
Whatever.
Right?
Man.
He's the savior. I have another story with him. Hold on. Let me see.
Don't tell me for a moment that you think that if I didn't insert any other fucking billionaire into his job position, that the company would do exactly the same shit. You think that Bobby Kotick came up with all the greatest ideas on why World of Warcraft was so successful? You believe that shit? No, absolutely fucking not. Any monkey could have been in his position doing the same shit, sitting around collecting a check.
So he says another thing in the interview. He says former Activision CEO Bobby Kotick says that Microsoft Activision deal was negotiated in 3 days. Okay, but there was a disagreement over Xbox Game Pass subscription model. Okay, Kotick still insists that Game Pass model is not going to work long term, but says that Microsoft can take these big bets. Okay,
that's true.
And right, and this is why I think they're
because this is still an experiment, and we don't know yet. Because the gaming industry has to fuck themselves hard enough to where subscription model sounds good, right?
Right, and right now it's in favor of them.
It's in favor of Microsoft because if you keep making AAA titles that suck giant amounts of D, okay, and you don't and day one patches and you want $100 up front and nobody wants to pay you, right?
Right.
Fuck your game. I would rather just pay the $20 and try it on Game Pass. Fuck it.
Right.
Or wait.
I think it's Microsoft can get away with it because it's
They
a big
have
bet.
money to blow.
Right. And if Grand Theft Auto comes out and they charge $100 for a video game, right, that looks better for the subscription services, right? If people start if people start making higher prices and they have to make more games, then well, the streaming services look better. Even Ubisoft Plus looks better, and EA Play looks better at this point. You know,
Ubisoft Plus doesn't look good to anyone at any time. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, what I'm saying is subscription models. Instead of paying $80, $100 for Assassin's Creed, now you pay $18. What do you mean?
I wouldn't pay.
You wouldn't.
I wouldn't pay Ubisoft with your money. The fuck out of here.
I get that, Sarge. I get that. But here, I have an Assassin's Creed story, right?
If your brain, if you stroked out and your left side just doesn't work anymore, and you're like, and you think Ubisoft Plus is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and you want to give them cocksuckers money on some level for some reason, and you believe that that's a good deal, right? You're brain dead, right? Go seek some help. Your brain is broke. Right?
Here, Assassin's Creed Shadows pre-orders.
They're about to release the final nail in their own coffin in 2 weeks.
No matter,
It doesn't even matter.
It's like a month. It's like a month, right? Look, this game. It doesn't matter what it does. Ubisoft's in trouble regardless. This could sell like Grand Theft Auto, and it wouldn't bail the company out of what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
This isn't even going to sell like this. Nothing, dude.
No, but I understand that. What I'm saying is they're so in the hole and so much in trouble at Ubisoft that it doesn't matter what this game does. It's not going to save Ubisoft.
Dustin, if your name is in chat, we know you're buying it.
Exactly. Dustin's just buying everything.
You never ever have to tell us, man. Like, we take bets when you're not here about what games you won't buy. We take bets,
which is
we
no
buy
games.
a lot. You buy a lot.
No games.
Yeah.
Right. So Assassin's Creed Shadow pre-order is in line with Odyssey. Now, what's Odyssey? Right. What was Odyssey's thing? It says Ubisoft is happy with pre-launch build of Assassin's Creed Shadows despite multiple delays and pushed the game back into 2024 to March 20th of 2025. Ubisoft CEO Guillemot says that the interest of the game has been as strong pre-orders overall. Has it? During the quarter 3 2025 earnings call on Thursday, Guillemot said the pre-orders for Assassin's Creed Shadows are tracking solidly in line with those Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the second most successful entry of the franchise. Second most. So they're saying that this game, they won't tell you the numbers though, Sarge. They won't tell you the numbers, but they're going to tell you it's the second most successful entry and that it's on par with that. Okay. Aside from the pre-orders, Ubisoft says that the previews of the game have been strong from multiple angles. It says, quote, early previews have been positive, praising the narrative and immersive experience with both characters playing critical roles of the game's storyline, as well as the quality, complementary gameplay provides a dual protagonist approach, Guillemot said. He says, he continues, I want to commend the incredible talent and dedication to the entire Assassin's Creed team, who is working tirelessly to ensure the Shadows delivers the promise of what the franchise's most ambitious entry yet. You mean, yeah.
I can't even listen to
like dry heaving.
The corporate speak to me. Look, I can't even listen to it anymore. It's like they go sheet 6, line 4, paragraph 2, go. Like it's the same shit. Like if I were to copy pasta this and put it in a file, I guarantee you I can get the exact same flow of words on any other game that they make. It's the same shit all the time, bro. All the time.
I always love when people say
I'm just done, dude.
I always love when people say this game does, it's sold well, but they won't tell you the numbers. I love when they say that the pre-orders are fantastic, but they don't show you numbers. Meanwhile, you got Space Marines out here, Space Marines 2 going.
Bragging.
Yeah, we got 10 million sold. We got Power 25 million copies sold. Helldivers, we got 18 million sold.
Yeah. They all know when the number's good, they all know exactly how many they sell. But if you're trying to subvert the numbers, bro, you just make up whatever you want.
Yeah, they just tell you that it's the highest grossing game on a Tuesday
at 6 p.m.
in October at 6 p.m. Right, and you're like, oh, did you hear that?
Sounds
second
amazing.
Highest grossing game ever. Right?
Sounds amazing.
Like I said, this game could be the best-selling Assassin's Creed ever. Right, it could sell like Call of Duty numbers, and at the end of the day, Ubisoft is still in the hole, big time.
All right,
okay, big time.
The only question you're going to be asking after this game releases is when they fire the next round of people.
3 months.
Do they wait a quarter or they just fire them immediately?
I think they have to fire before the quarter's end, right? They don't want to pay them for the next quarter because that looks bad on the sheet.
I mean, either way, someone's getting fired. There's a group of people going to get fired, and then I'm supposed to once again get my box of tissues out and feel bad for the development team because they lost their jobs on a shitty game. I I got news for you. My tear ducts are fucking dry, bro. I don't care. They're fucking dried out. Right? There's no more sympathy for anybody, any of this nonsense anymore. Right? You made a shitty game. You're fired. Have a nice day. Next. Like, if we have to do this for the next couple of years just to clear out the fucking management team, and I'm tired of the guys getting fired, but the management doesn't. Right? That's the issue. Right? The manager gets to run amok.
Oh no, the manager
to make another game. Right? They fail up. Meanwhile,
they have parachutes. Managers have parachutes.
Two kids. The guy's got 2 kids. He needs another game. He needs another game development cycle because he's trying to get these kids in private school, and he'll be fired again.
Right?
Because management over here doesn't get fired because they can do no wrong.
Remember, Assassin's Creed was supposed to be out already in November, and now they're telling you it's really polished. Now it's really polished.
Like my knob.
Okay, really polished now, but it was supposed to come out in November, so they were going to sell you
super polished.
They were going to sell you a broke and buggy product back in November. Yeah. And they would be fixing it December, January, February, March.
But the monkeys don't put that in. Like, they don't connect the dots. Like, I could say right now that you're a piece of shit, bro. You're retarded, and you'll never make anything out of your life.
I appreciate that, Sarge.
But then 3 months from now, go, you're a genius, bro. You're the best brother I've ever had, right? I can't believe you're my brother. And like, you're supposed to forget about everything I said 3 months ago.
You said before, like 4 months.
That's how people act.
Right.
That's how people act. I'm a monkey. I handed you $100, and I'm mentally incapacitated. But now everything's gonna be fine. Right? So you lied to me the entire time.
Water Bear says if polish is what they showed us about 2 weeks ago, then it's not ready yet either. Oh no, it's not going to be ready when it comes out. It still needs another 6 to 8 months.
They don't mean polished. It's been polished, which means the development team from Poland is doing their best job trying to knock out the bugs. That's what they mean, the polished. When you get polished, that means this other group comes in and tries to fix the bugs, not polished. I don't know what you guys keep saying polished for.
Rachel says Avowed was ready 5 to 6 months ago, and yet the bugs today, the game wasn't delayed because of the heavy lineup. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't remember things like that because I'm stoked out.
Yeah. They were saving you from your own backlog. Okay. But the game comes out and it's broke, buggy for some people. Okay. But they were polishing it. It was polished. It wasn't because it wasn't polished.
What's IGN's score? Let's hear it.
A 7. It was a 7 for Avowed.
No. For AC coming out right now. What do you think? What's the score going to be?
Oh, a 7.
Well,
a 7. Well, oh no, a 9. A 9. They're going to give.
Oh, okay, bro.
they're going to give it a 9.
Let's not mince words. We know that.
Yeah.
They're loading up. The journalists are loading up the cannons.
Yeah.
They're loading up the cannons with a big ass 9 coming up. All of a sudden.
This is the greatest Assassin's Creed since Black Flag.
Right. Who else do we have to pay? Like, they're all getting ready. Everyone's getting ready. Their checks are in the mail. Everybody get ready. AC's coming out.
It's gonna get higher than a 7. It's gonna get higher than a 7. 8.5, 9. Yeah, that's what it's gonna get.
9.5, bro.
You think it's gonna get a 9.5?
From IGN? 9.5. That dude's got his face so jammed up to the guy's ass. Like, it's a 9.5, bro. It's a 9.5.
It might be. Well, I'll say 8.5 to 9. That's where it'll sit in that range. Right. It all depends. It all depends on how many Ubisoft wants to sell. Right. They'll be like, how much does this get us?
Right. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Keep the change. Keep the change. Speaking about buying things, right? The next story I want to talk about, Sarge, is what is this? This is Insider Gamer.
Absolutely, Water. 9.5. Absolutely.
That's Embracer. That's Battlefield. That's the wrong one. What story is this? Where is this? Electronic Arts.
This will be the best, Water.
Here it is.
They're going to talk about AC Shadows better than they're going to talk about Veilguard, which will be fucking hilarious.
Remember, Veilguard got a 9.
Right?
9.95 from IGN.
Yeah, you know this is coming.
Oh, you know what? Before we get to this story, let's talk about the since we're on IGN. Okay, since we're talking about IGN, let's talk about this story, Sarge.
Oh God.
Okay, since we're on IGN. Okay, so this is a writer for IGN. Okay, This is the writer that wrote. Okay, now you can tell that people are upset because whatever you think politically.
Is she
Okay,
an elf? Is that what she looks like?
Well-
She looks like an elf.
she's a he.
Whatever.
Okay,
Don't
so
care.
it says I'll take a whole point off the review score for any future map games that call it the Gulf of America.
Yeah. Well, we know where you
Okay.
stand. We know where you stand. It's
So
cool.
look, I don't care where you stand politically or whatnot. If you are a writer, a reviewer, and you're now going to deduct points off of because of something that says the Gulf of America, what else are you willing to do to deduct points off a game that has nothing to do with the actual game that we want you to review, right? How's the gameplay? How's the soundtrack? How's the story?
The number one, the
I
entitlement.
got two other tweets to read.
Number one, the entitlement. Right.
Right.
That you work for a publication that gives you the ability to contact millions of people,
Right.
and you think that acting this way is in benefit of either you or your company, which is a joke. Never mind that you're insulting the rest of your employees when you act this way and you say shit like this, right? Like you're acting like a little impetuous
child.
impetuous child,
you're
like
a child.
Like
Yeah.
you act like a child, right? So to me, I can't. I'm gonna write her name down, and anytime I ever see an article with her name in it, I'm gonna disregard it because it's meaningless. Like
So
you have basically ruined your own career by stating that you don't look at things objectively, and I'm going to use the power of my position in order to
Right.
influence your thought process as opposed to just identifying the fucking game.
right.
That's it. That's your
So-
job.
So it says, you think I'm joking? You think I won't to do that? You think I want to do this forever? I want to start some fires on the way out and call the bluff, right? Then the last one is, nobody has ever let this amount of soft power go to their head before.
Is she
Right.
talking about her? Is she talking about herself? Because that's how she's acting. The
This-
soft
this-
power going to your head. Like you would be fired. Like a
Yeah.
normal company would fire you for acting this way. You would be fired.
Right. Right. So Krebsy says, Krebsy wants me to say what I said yesterday. I will. Because these people have issues, right? He says, say what you said last night. So last night I said, the Gulf of Mexico is now called the Gulf of America. But people don't want to call it the Gulf of America because they want to call it the Gulf of Mexico. I'm sorry. If you're transgender and you don't want to be called dead name, if you were called Larry before and now you're Len, okay,
Don't dead name the Gulf.
then you can't dead name the Gulf of Mexico, right? You have to call it the Gulf of America.
I mean, somebody just didn't cross out it on the map and then wrote in Gulf of America. They legally changed it. Like Google accepted it, Apple accepted it. Like
Right.
legally changed the name.
Right.
Like they change names all the time, bro. I don't know if you know
All the
this, but
time.
like mountains were named differently. Mount
Yeah.
McKinley was changed to a different mountain name.
Yep.
Like there's just different names.
People from Texas all the way up, all the way over to California, you were in Mexico. That was
Yeah,
Mexico 400
called
years
Mexico.
ago.
That's called
Yeah.
Mexico, right?
Yeah, it was
Now
called Mexico
Texas.
400 years ago.
So you're gonna get mad at people for calling
Now
it
it's
Texas?
Texas and
Like, I
Nevada
don't-
and Utah and
I don't-
California.
I don't understand the hill that you want to die on. Like you don't like it's basically it's a temper tantrum. Like
Yes,
I don't
it's a child having a temper
things
tantrum.
are not going the way that I think they should go. So I'm gonna just stomp my feet and cry. Like, are you 5? Like, what are you talking about? My next question is, how do you still have a job? Right? How do you have that job?
This is integrity that's gone. And now if this person writes any kind of review, if you're willing to deduct points off of a video game that they worked 4 to 5 years of their life to get graded to make sales, and this person's like, well, I don't like the name of this person, right? I'm going to deduct points. Like, if you're willing to deduct points because of a thing you disagree with from a person that's never going to meet you, from the president of the United States, what else are you willing to deduct points for your review process? How can we take you seriously in any way, shape, or form?
I'm going to be very blunt. Mental illness is real and it needs to be recognized, right? Because you say a thing doesn't mean that's the thing.
Correct.
There's processes to all of society, right? We've decided on the normal side of the world where we talk about things and we discuss them, and there's legal matters and there's policies that people follow. They went and legally changed the fucking name. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't like the name, here's the best part about it. Unless you're writing a legal document, you can call it whatever you want.
Right.
I know people that keep calling mountains different names that the names they originally were called because they don't like the other name. So they call it whatever name.
What do you call where the Marlins and Dolphins played, Sarge?
Well, originally where they played was Joe Robbie.
Yeah. What do you call it now?
I still call it Joe Robbie. That's how
exactly
I recognize the stadium.
That's exactly right. That's
because
exactly
if a bank buys it and changes the name every fucking 3 seconds, I got to remember the new name. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's Joe Robbie Stadium. No matter 20 years, 30 years later, it's still Joe Robbie Stadium.
But here's the fun part about that, bro. If I type in Joe Robbie Stadium into Google, it'll still give me the address.
Is that true?
Right?
Let me say.
Right? It doesn't go, that place doesn't exist. You're out of luck. Like, you'll still get it. You'll still get the address.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, you'll still get the address.
Yeah,
you want to know why?
It says
because
Joe Robbie Stadium, which is now
it.
Hard Rock Stadium. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Because Hard Rock decided to buy it for whatever lease amount. Yeah. Right? It's the same shit. Like,
yeah, Duplass. I don't call the Indians the Guardians. I call them the Indians.
Yeah, the Cleveland Indians. That's their name.
One of the greatest baseball movies ever created is Major League Baseball with the Cleveland Indians, not the Cleveland Guardians.
The little party I'm going to have, and we're going to do a little story about it, is the week where they stop calling the Washington Redskins Commanders again, and they go back to Washington Redskins. Right? I'm waiting for the day. It's going back the other way because the actual Indians said, "Hey, we didn't want the name change. We liked it.
We were okay with the name. People were offended for them, and
it represented us. We liked it. They actually said it. So when they change the number, change the number back because of their white privilege, and they have to change the number, I'm going to laugh hysterically, and we're definitely doing a story on it.
Oh, absolutely. I'll
hilarious.
Do it. Yeah.
Hilarious.
All right, let's go back to what was we were doing? Where were we? What did I have on the board? We were talking about Electronic Arts. Okay, Electronic Arts, and this is right here. All right, so I didn't know this, Sarge. Right, Electronic Arts almost owned Call of Duty and Blizzard. Okay, and I believe it because EA at one point could have done that,
and EA, with their wisdom of a 3-year-old, said no because they didn't think it was good enough.
So in a recent interview, part of the episode of Grit Podcast where Bobby Kotick was talking about all the other stuff, okay, he said that Bing Gordon, former chief creative officer at Electronic Arts, it was revealed in the earlier minutes of the episode, which spans a whopping 2 hours on Electronic Arts, once passed up the opportunity to acquire Blizzard and Call of Duty and Guitar Hero, amongst other brands. Eventually, Activision Blizzard, which was formerly led by Bobby Kotick and CEO, was purchased entirely by Microsoft, which also acquired the aforementioned labels. And it says the Grit Podcast, owned by Bobby, opened up with Bobby Kotick talking about EA's leadership, and Bing Gordon suggests that EA's former CEO, John Riccitiello, which is part of one of the other games, I forget the chat, help me out here. John Riccitiello is in charge of the new other engine that's screwing over people left and right. Not Unreal. It's not Unreal. Was so bad that Activision also could have paid off him and stay in his place rather than have him replaced with someone more capable. In Kotick's words, Riccitiello was the worst CEO in video games. Yeah, he's still the worst CEO, right? He's still the worst CEO. So, yeah, what world would we live in now, Sarge, if EA bought Blizzard? Right? Can you imagine if they owned Activision and Blizzard? EA.
If EA bought Blizzard, they would have destroyed it.
You think they would have eaten it up?
Everything they have right now is destroyed. Right?
Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Diablo.
No, I'm talking about all the EA titles are destroyed. So
EA wanted to buy Activision, not the other way around.
No, I know that. That's what I'm telling you. EA would have destroyed it.
Right, destroyed the Activision Blizzard titles. So that's what I'm naming. Diablo, World of Warcraft.
They would have destroyed it.
Like Unity. Thank you, Akutapapa, Krebsy. Thank you very much.
It might have lasted maybe 2 years. Listen, EA is on a downward spiral. All the dreams and hopes of their reoccurring money are starting to go the other way, and nobody's giving them any more money.
That would be crazy.
Do they still make money Yes, right. But it's not a growth company right now. EA is not in a growth cycle,
No,
which
they're
means
not what they were
investors
before. Yeah.
investors don't care about them. They'd much rather put their money someplace else, which means that Electronic Arts has to do something better, which means make an actual video game to show that you want to grow, but they don't have it. So we're gonna watch to see what I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see what happens.
Dupla says they would own COD and Battlefield. That would be crazy. Yes, they would own basically the whole market of
and
that.
They would have to. They'd only have to make one game. They wouldn't have to make two.
Which is funny because now EA is making their game like COD. Right? Battlefield is turning into COD.
Well, they all have to copy COD because they want those numbers. They refuse to see the game as the game that it is. They think they can make everything else into another COD, right? And that was their downfall before, right? They wanted to make everything into FIFA. They wanted to make the Madden into FIFA. Listen, if they could do baseball into FIFA, they would, right? And they're trying to make Battlefield into FIFA. They already told you they want a live service Battlefield, is what they want you. Like, that's not Battlefield, but that's what they want. So guess what's coming, right? 4 studios working very hard to give you a live service Battlefield. I can't wait, bro. I can't wait.
Dark Taco says, yeah, because of Vince, right? Yeah, you're saying because of Vince turning it into COD because of Vince, right? Yeah, because Vince used to do COD.
Aku, if you haven't keeping score, though, you do realize that the old guard that we all grew up on during the golden age of gaming, all the old guard are dying.
They're gone, yeah.
Right? They're all gone. The actual studios who work in them, they haven't made any games that are in the top 10. They're all gone. Everybody who did anything in those studios no longer works there. So you're looking at the name of the golden age of gaming filled up with guys who don't know how to make any games, trying to grow a business that they didn't know how to grow. So I don't know what you think's supposed to happen. But everybody that we knew that were alive during the golden age of gaming, they're all done. So we're looking at other studios now to take up the reins and like do something, right? The creativity is gone, right? It's been proven. They're not creative because they're afraid to take chances because they have to make the money. And they keep saying that, but every time they come out of the game, it underperforms. So I don't know what you think's supposed to happen. You think the next 4 games that come out are all supposed to be Fortnite? I mean, that's what they want. They want every game to come out to be Fortnite. So I'm here for it because the only way that the industry betters itself, the only way that we move forward and go back to the artistry of game development, as opposed to this constantly copy pasta trying to chase trends, the only way that it works is if the guys who keep trying to do it die. The company dies. The CEO fails. Like, they have to go away, right? We have to wait for another AA studio or a triple B studio to be like, it's our time to shine. We're going to make a game that works. We're going to make a game that everyone wants to play, and it'll be their turn. That's what we have to hope for, because current companies right now are garbage. They're garbage.
They're well, we watched the video.
How many times can you tell me your game underperformed? How many years can you say that?
Right, and they don't tell us what it underperformed by, right? So if they say that they wanted to sell 7 million copies, but it sold 6 million copies, which is still profitable, but it didn't hit their target, they're like, oh, it underperformed. So they make it seem like it failed, but it didn't really fail. It made 2 million more than it was supposed to make, but didn't make the 3 million that they wanted it to make.
Yeah, but you're missing out on people's job security. You didn't have to make a game that sold 100 million copies. You had to make a game that people liked and would follow you for your next game. That's all you had to do. But that wasn't good enough.
Right. Well, look,
you had to make all the money.
Yeah, look what Rockstar did. Rockstar, when they made the first Grand Theft Auto, they sold a couple 100,000 copies of that top-down Grand Theft Auto. And then they built it up, made the next one. And then they made the grand one, which was Grand Theft Auto 3 on the PlayStation, and it blew up. And then since then, they made better and better and better.
Well, I'll say this now before the year starts to develop, okay? Remember this night. Put it in the bid book of bull, okay? Remember this night. The writers for GTA 6, the writers who were originally part of GTA, are no longer there.
Right.
Those writers are not there. So
Creators, the
whatever
creators are not there.
writers you think are writing for GTA 6 are not the guys who you remember, right? Laszlo's gone. There's 2 or 3 other guys. They're not there.
Yeah, the creators are gone.
Right? Does the game look amazing? Yes. Did you have to stop and cancel every other title you were ever making just to make this game? Apparently so.
Yeah.
Because this was the golden goose. Collecting shark cards and charging people for online for the last 10 years, right? Is the golden goose. So I don't have to make another game. Well, I got news for you. If all your eggs are inside the GTA 6 basket, I'm telling you, it's not going to be what you think it is.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Eric says small studios don't need to make big games. They need to make video game and sell video game. That's it.
Look,
it's a bad story, but it's a good story, right? Look at Hello Games. Hello Games, because they couldn't make a game, right? They didn't have the money. They teamed up with Sony. Sony kind of dicked them over, pushed them out before they were ready. Okay. And then they learned their lesson.
They've been apologizing ever since.
Right. 2 years went by, and then they came out year 3, and they just been making the game. They made the game, and now they sold the game, and they've been 20 updates over the last 7 or 8 years for No Man's Sky. Small studio. They made so much money from that game. They were making other games. They've made a couple other games, and now they're waiting for Light No Fire, right? Small studio. There's less than 20 people or 30 people working for that studio.
I'll put it to you this way. If one bad actor, and I don't mean like an actual actor, I mean like one bad person out of the studio, once the game comes out, starts talking some kind of shit, right? About DEI this or some other kind of crap goes on, and some bad story starts circling around Grand Theft Auto 6 prior to its launch, you're going to see people withdraw. You're going to be like, I'm not fucking going to touch it. You're going to have the people who buy it no matter what. I 100% agree. But I'm going to die on this hill. It is not going to be as big as 5. It's not going to be as big as 5.
I think early on it will, but I don't think it has the long.
I don't think it has the legs. I don't think it has the legs.
Yeah. Bringing this back up, this is Battlefield Labs addressed the biggest problem with Battlefield franchise. Okay. Now I read this article earlier, so I don't need to read it right now, right? So this is basically what it's saying, Sarge. The biggest thing that's missing from Battlefield was that they released the game too early and it didn't test it enough. So now because Battlefield Labs is a thing, right? Because they don't want to pay for Q&A testers, they're opening it up to Battlefield Labs. And, they have hundreds of thousands, if not maybe million people that signed up for this thing to test the game out, okay? Now, my problem with this is, Sarge, because they're trying to make Battlefield the next Call of Duty, okay, and they're bringing in people and they're listening to the players that want to play the game. I said this a little bit last week, and I said at the beginning of this week. If they bring in the wrong people, right? So let's say, I'll use Shroud, right? Shroud is a really good first-person shooter, loves playing games. He played a shit ton of Battlefield back in the day, right? But he's known for like battle royales. He's known for extraction shooters, right? He knows games. He knows first-person shooters. But if they ask him, how can this compete with Warzone, right? What will make you leave Warzone to play Battlefield? What would make you leave this battle royale to come play Battlefield? And they're like, well, you have to have a battle royale. You have to have a Warzone type of thing to compete with them. That's where I think this goes awry. Okay, you can bring in as many people as you want to play test your game and fix it so it's not broke or buggy when it comes out. But if you bring the wrong people in and listen to the wrong people that are not Battlefield fans and they're just first-person shooter fans, you're chasing this group of people that are going to abandon your game as fast as they did the other 6 games for battle royales or extraction shooters or team hero shooters, because they're just going to keep going around. It's sort of like when you play Battlefield and you play conquest mode and everyone's going to flag A and then flag B, and then flag C, and then flag D. No one ever just spreads out and takes care of the points, right? They just keep going in a circle, and they keep going to the next flag.
Zerg.
That's what I believe that's going to happen here if they do the Battlefield Labs wrong. Okay? Now, if they bring in people for the Battlefield Labs and they start testing out stuff that's Battlefield, then I have no problem with this, because that means the game will come out, better shape than Battlefield 2042. What do you think about Battlefield Labs?
I think it's a way to displace blame when things go wrong, right? You have 4 studios. Nobody wants to be accountable for what's about to happen. So instead, you say that we're going to sign up a bunch of players to help us along so we don't make mistakes. Well, that means you don't have a vision for the game. Like, you don't know what you want to do. Like, even if you tell me none of them have made a Battlefield game before, and that's true, right? None of them made a Battlefield game. Do you guys not play the Battlefield games? Do you not go back and play the fucking games that were top on the list for fucking 8 years running? You don't go play them and see why. Instead, you sign up a bunch of people who are going to tell you whether or not you're doing a good job. Do you need to be pat on the head to tell if you're doing a good job making a game?
Tell me what you want, right? Tell me what you want.
Who's the game developer here, right? Do you guys have a vision, or do you want us to tell you how to make a game? I'm confused.
Make a game, sell a game.
You've said it before. Chad has said it before. If you're going to make it like COD, why do I want to stop playing COD to play your game? Why don't I just keep playing COD? Like, the identity of the game is the identity of the game. If you're going to put other game types inside the game that do a worse job than the game's already doing that kind of game mode, why would I want to stop playing that game to come over here and play this? Right? The whole idea is because it's a different type of game. It's meant to be that way because that's why people played Battlefield, but they don't see it that way. They have to copy pasta, right? And they're so doubling down. They're not tripling down. They're quadrupling down, bro. 4 studios are going
all hands on deck.
Are going to do the job as one studio, and you think more chefs in the kitchen are going to make it better. Has anybody been keeping score? Has anyone been keeping score?
Altern says, what if they have forbidden to play previous Battlefield games like BioWare devs when they were making Anthem? They couldn't play Destiny. Like, how retarded is that, right? It's like Hollywood telling people not to read the comics or the books before you make Lord of the Rings or before you do a role for Marvel films.
Like, who if you're a diehard COD player, why are you going to play Battlefield?
Right.
I'm curious. What is the deciding factor? He goes, you know what? I'm going to stop playing the game that I've spent the last 600 hours playing and I love. I'm going to go play Battlefield and see how badly they can fuck that up. And then you'll play it for like 3 hours and be like, this is garbage. COD's better, right? Because you like COD. Because the way COD is made is for you. That's what you like. But they don't see it that way, right? Yeah. And we're about to watch 4 studios blame everybody else but themselves, right? They're going to say, well, we didn't understand what people wanted, right? They said a bunch of stuff. Nobody ever agreed on anything. You know why? Because a direct democracy doesn't work. Representation doesn't always work that way because you're not going to be able to please everybody, right? Let's go through the checklist. What is Battlefield? What is Battlefield? Okay, I'll tell you. It's large maps, classes that matter, that you have to be different classes in order to succeed, vehicles on the maps that are worth a damn, not paper mache vehicles that are worth a damn, right? Maps that are designed for defensive and offensive operations and able to hold a point or take over or defend a point, or to defend it or to attack the point, right? And to have destructible environments inside the war zone. Like, you're supposed to be able to destroy things. Like, that's what's supposed to be. Those are the core elements of Battlefield, right? Pick whatever history you want. That's the core of it. But no, they want skins. They want specialists.
Right.
They want kill streaks. None of that mattered. None of that mattered. They're scared to pick an enemy. Let me understand something. What kind of pussification happened that when you make the last 4 Battlefields, you just said who it was? They're from the Middle East. They're terrorists. They're Russians. They're Chinese.
Right.
You just said the enemy. Why? Because we happen to be fighting them in the actual real fucking planet, right? We're at war with these people 24/7 at some point somewhere. And now it's all touch and go. You can't say that because you're going to offend somebody. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
There are actual people on the planet who want to kill us. If we're making a combat game, you put us and you put the guys who are trying to kill us in the game. This is not fucking hard.
Right, you might hurt their feelings, though, Sarge.
Well, then I guess you need to move. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not making this shit up. This shit is happening.
Grandpa Dirty Bear says, if I have to tell as a consumer how to make your product, then I don't need your product. I can make it myself.
It's mind-boggling, bro. Right? They make it sound like they're having forward progress. Let me tell you something. I don't care how many studios work on this game. If you don't have the vision, the game director come out and tell you this is the vision for the game. That's what needs to be said. If he doesn't say what the vision is, I don't care how many studios are working on it. I don't care. I don't care. Because there won't be any pre-ordering. There won't be any like little peeky looky loos. I don't care.
Look, last night we were playing Battlefield 1 and we were running around. There was plenty of cover. There was like destruction maps, but
It's called Battlefield. It's called the Battlefield.
It was level. You played Battlefield 2042 when it came out, no cover. Nothing was happening. Buildings wouldn't completely destroy, and they had to go back and fix those maps for a whole year.
But you had to tell the guys making a Battlefield that they had to make an actual
right. You got to put more cover. You got to put more cover in there.
You know, craters and flames and things that make you. It's called a battlefield. That's the name of the game.
Machiavelli says combat games, not real life. Some are sensitive. Yeah, but this is why you shouldn't do modern combat, and this is why
the best Battlefields were modern.
Yeah, no, but this is why
were modern.
No, what I'm saying is you shouldn't go into the future, right? Even Battlefield 3 and 4 were past wars, like past like situations that were going on, right? Those are just like period pieces, basically. They're already bad guys, and this is why you're not going to offend anybody because they're the bad guys. If you go to the future and go, we're going up against China, they'll be like, well, you can't go against China because China, is actual real place, and we're not at war with them. And if you make a war, they might. I mean, look what happened to Assassin's Creed, right?
And all you have to say is Kerplakistan. That's all you have to say. You just make something
a fictitious place.
Up. It's called Kerplakistan, and their guys there don't like us. That's all you had to do.
Right. Yeah. It's just funny that they do that, right? So, all right. From that, well, let's go to State of Play a little bit here, right? So State of Play, I thought it was a pretty good showcase overall, right? There was lots of things they were showing. Let me see. This is everything. No, this is everything. WB.
What about
what?
Machiavelli? What about that game that came out? It was about 4 or 5 years ago, where they said it was so realistic people were getting PTSD. Do you remember the name of that game?
That was Call of Duty.
Right? Was it the Call of Duty at the time?
Yeah, it was a Call of Duty game. It was Call of Duty World War I or whatever the one it was when it went back to.
They said that it
was so realistic it made people sick.
Yeah, it made people, right. Remember that?
So, State of Play was yesterday at 5 p.m. yesterday, and they showed 28 to 30 games. I thought it was entertaining. I thought
it was good.
And again, I'm coming from a perspective of I don't care where games are. I'm not really interested in any of the games, but the games I saw, I was like, oh, those are cool, right? So this is from Windows Central. Windows Central, I did this article by myself this morning. It says every PC and Xbox game shown during Sony PlayStation State of Games played February, right? So when Xbox did their showcase, right after they did the showcase, somebody that was a Sony pony had to put a collaboration together of all the games that are also coming out for Sony, right? That are on Xbox as well. Well, now this is the opposite. So now Sony did their State of Play, and now these are all the games coming out, not just on Xbox, but they're coming on PC. So the conversation I want to have, Sarge, is we live in a state now where it doesn't really matter where you play. Like yesterday was funny. Dolphin wanted to play with us for Battlefield 1, and he wanted to play on PC. Well, Battlefield 1, back when it came out, we didn't have cross-play. We didn't have play anywhere type of thing, right? So he's like, can I play with you? I'm like, well, no, you got to have the game on the Xbox to play. Now, in today's age, it doesn't matter if you're playing Call of Duty or Battlefield 2042. You could play a cross-platform on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and we could all play together, right? So it's in a completely different landscape just 8 years later, okay? So now we have all the games that are announced. Now, we'll go over a couple of these, and then we'll go over most of the other games that are coming out. So Monster Hunter Wilds, they showed there. I don't know why they showed this. It's coming out in 2 weeks. Obviously, I don't think you need to advertise Monster Hunter Wilds. It's going to be a huge success for them, for Capcom. So that's coming out, okay?
The graphics do look downgraded, though.
They have like this little like grittiness to it. It's like someone took like Vaseline and put it over your screen. You know what I mean? It's like that's the way to do it. They have Shinobi Okay, Shinobi looked pretty good. Okay, not my cup of tea, but it's still I can look at it and go, yeah, that looks like a fun game. Okay, they have Sonic Racing, which is just another Mario Kart / Disney racing game. But if you're a Sonic fan, boom, there you go. You got Sonic, and this is on multiple platforms. Okay, you got Digimon Story Time Stranger. Okay, that looked interesting as well. You have Lost Souls Aside. Okay, that's another one that looks actually pretty cool. Here, I'll play a little bit if I can. We'll mute it because I don't want. All right, so you'll see some gameplay of the stuff, or not, some cutscenes. Right, so this looks pretty interesting as well. I know people were like, "Oh, damn!" Right? Obviously, the chick looks hot. They know what they're doing over there. You know, they know what they're doing over there. We have Borderlands 4.
You mean Eastern Development Teams?
Yeah, the Eastern Development Team.
Yeah.
Borderlands 4, they didn't really show too much. They're going to have a separate showing. So I figured we weren't going to talk much about it. We'll talk about it once they start showing it.
Did they show anything at all? Anything interesting?
They showed a couple. Yeah, they showed some stuff. What's the barometer for you, Sarge, about Borderlands 4? Are you excited about it? Are you?
Listen, I'm still on the fence about buying the third one on discount at GameStop. But
it was $6. I didn't want to buy it.
I know, but I could. That's what I'm saying, though. I couldn't get myself to do it. I mean, if this is actual gameplay, it looks a lot cleaner. It looks good, right? For the cell shading thing that people hate, I adored the way it was done. I just like the way, because it reminded me of a comic books from back in the day, right? But this looks really clean. It looks really good. Now, if the gameplay is as smooth as this is, it's worth a shot. But I have to see a little bit more.
Worth a shot full price or worth a shot wait?
I mean, you know me. I don't get anything day one. So
all right. Well, here's the big conversation I want to have for Borderlands 4. Right? It's coming out September 23rd, 2025.
I know you feel, Jason. I know you feel, Jason.
Right? September 23rd, 2025. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, Sarge, is because that is a big thing. Because here, let me go back to
Golden Axe. What was that?
I'll show you that in a second. September 23rd, everyone was thinking that Grand Theft Auto 6 was coming out in September. Okay? For the longest time, people were like, September. This show showed a lot of games coming out in September, right? So I started going, uh-oh. They're putting it in September, meaning
they got to get out before Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out in October or November. Okay, and we were having a conversation last week.
Krebsy might have this date down.
Well, no, he was already wrong. He said it was a September 17th or 23rd, and now it's wrong because now it got pushed back.
He said October.
He said September.
He
said October 23rd. He said October 23rd. Yeah. People were saying September 17th. Right. So people were saying it's September. It's coming in October or it's coming out in November. Okay. So everyone's trying to get their shit way before Grand Theft Auto comes out. Now, 2K, don't slander me like that. That's right. I apologized. Okay. They decided that their Borderlands is coming out in September. That's a 2K game. Rockstar is part of 2K. There's no way they're putting them too close together, right? So I think Borderlands 4
that's not true.
Borderlands 4 wants to do like the 1-2 combo, right? They're like, hey, 2K is like, yeah, buy Borderlands and we'll also get you, you'll get Grand Theft Auto money on the back end. So do you think it's coming out in October or do you think it's coming out in November?
I mean, my gut tells me October is right because that's usually when the Grand Theft Autos come out. And there's been a couple that come out during the summer, but most of them always come out during October. So,
and because of that, do you think now Battlefield, because last week we talked about Battlefield might get pushed back to February. Do you think they push this back out to next year, Battlefield 6 to 2026?
There's no way that 4 studios are knocking out this game before the end of the year. I'm pretty sure it's next year sometime.
So before the end of the year, so before March, basically.
I don't know.
This time next year is when Battlefield 6 comes out.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure they'll get it out in time. Honest to God, I really don't believe that just because there's 4 studios, it's coming out on time. Maybe March, maybe.
I don't think it comes out December 27th. That's way too late in the year. They want to sell Grand Theft Auto way before the holidays.
If they need it to come out, then it has to come out before the end of the fiscal year.
It's coming out before Black Friday, right? It's definitely coming out before.
You think Battlefield's coming out before Black Friday?
Oh, well, I think Battlefield should come out before Black Friday.
No shot.
I'm talking about Grand Theft Auto though. Grand Theft Auto is 100% coming out before the holidays. 100%. This is a system selling maneuver, right? Like this is going to sell systems for PlayStation. This is going to get people to buy handhelds. This is going to be people buy
Probably.
Xboxes. You know,
Probably.
not
depending
for
on
Grand
how
Theft
it comes
Auto.
out.
For Grand Theft Auto.
Depending on how that comes out and the marketing goes for why you'd want to get that, then yes.
Yeah. Next game, Split Fiction.
I'm still waiting for the hook. Like, just because you say Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out, that's one thing. But I'm waiting for the hook of GTA 6.
The
like,
hook is Vice City.
It's not. That's not a hook. The hook is something that's either in the game or a benefit of having the game or something that no other game has done before. There's got to be a hook. I'm waiting for
that will be the online aspect of it.
That's not a hook.
That'll be the online role-playing system or server that they're putting into that game.
We'll see. But there's got to be a hook. We're going to see.
All right, so we got Split Fiction, which is that game for the people that created It Takes Two, that other one that we played with the jail. I forget what that one's called. Inside Breakout? No,
it's not It Takes Two. It was
It Takes Two was another game that they created.
No Way Out.
No Way Out, that's it. Yeah, No Way Out was actually a pretty good game. Then we have Directive 8020, okay? This is Monica Rambeau. I forget the actress's name, but this is the girl that played Photon or whatever. She's in that. We got Onimusha. Okay, Onimusha.
Is it A Way Out alternate? Did I make a mistake?
What's that?
He says A Way Out.
Oh, Way Out. Yeah. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. They showed that, and this is coming out for all systems.
That's also a big one people are waiting for. They're looking for a Metal Gear game. Yeah.
Hell Is Us. This is also coming out on multiple systems, all systems. We got Lies of P DLC, which is a big success. It was a good hit for them.
Yeah.
So that's coming out on all systems as well. This one was I don't think this is out of left field. We reported this a couple months ago. People were saying that they were going to make a remake, a remaster of this. They canceled Days Gone 2. They didn't even opt in to do it, right? And here they are now. They're going back to the well, and they're doing a remaster of Days Gone. Now, if you're on PlayStation 5, then you'll pay $10 to upgrade or whatever. And if you're on PC,
this game has not been out long enough for a fucking remaster.
No, it was 2019 when it came out. It's been 5 years. All right. So that's coming out, and that's the one first party title that Sony showed off, which is a remaster. Okay. Then we have Stellar Blade coming to PC, which is, I think, the fastest exclusive that was on PlayStation that's now moving over. Spider-Man was the fastest, at 15 months. I think this one squeaks in just under 15. I think it's like 14 or 15.
You're talking about the time delay between console
from when it reaches on. Yeah. I think this is the fastest one that they're doing. Blueprint Prince is an artful experience that's coming out on all. And here's a funny part: it's coming on Game Pass, right? So at the show, obviously they didn't announce it was coming to Game Pass there, but this game is coming on Game Pass.
But you looked at the emblem at the bottom of the screen.
Well, no, this is for this. They didn't show this over here during their thing. And there's another one. Okay, a Biotic Factor. Okay, this is also coming to Game Pass as well.
What the fuck is she carrying, bro? I want to say something, but I don't want to say it. What the fuck is she carrying?
It looks like an animal lipstick.
It's phallic, bro.
Yep.
It's 100% phallic.
Yeah, she's carrying a dog's wanker is basically what it looked like.
So what is this? A multiplayer? Is it a co-op?
Yeah, it's a co-op game. I don't know if it's like a survival game.
I don't know.
Looks interesting.
Maybe. You said this is not. There's only so much my brain will allow. Can I say that?
You know what it kind of reminds me of?
Is that the nicest way I can say it?
You know what it kind of reminds me of?
My brain will only allow me to do so many things.
This is a one night try it on stream and never play it again. That's what this is.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe a two-night thing.
Now wait a minute. What I will say is, give me the name of the development team, and I'll look up anything else that they've done, and then that also sways me because sometimes I think they need a little nudge if they're trying something new. So you know what I mean? You help out the smaller studio.
You got Tides of Annihilation, which actually looks pretty cool as well. Let me see if I can fast forward here a little bit. This looks beautiful.
Is it vampire? Is it gothic? What
Look
is
at
it?
this thing? This fucking looks. I don't know if you fight that later, but this looks cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, and this is coming out on all platforms.
Art style,
It's almost like Shadow Colossus.
Yeah. Art style looks good. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does have a little the Shadow Colossus vibe for sure.
Oh yeah, we'll let that play for a second so you can see some combat.
It looks like maybe a female version of Devil May Cry.
Yeah, a little bit. So this looks pretty cool, and this is coming out on multiple platforms as well. Xbox, X, Windows, and PlayStation. Then you have Mind's Eye. Okay, this is another game. Let me fast forward a little bit.
This was all for the state
It's
of
all
play
for PlayStation,
for PlayStation.
show. Yeah.
This
But all the
good.
games, all the games
this
I'm
is
showing
pretty
you right
good, man.
now, all the games I'm showing you right now are for multi-plat, either PC and PlayStation or PC, PlayStation,
You know
and
what?
Xbox.
Once again, doesn't matter, bro. The games look decent. It's a good grouping.
And a lot of these games are all coming out in like August,
back.
September.
Can you go back? Can you go back for those two explosions for the car? Can you back up for the parking garage explosion? Those are really good particle effects. Look at that.
Yeah. No, like I said, it looks
that.
good. See that little
Look
like
at that.
Expands the car.
The shock waves is actually inside that's done well.
Yeah.
The game might suck, but at least they spent the time on the explosions and the graphics. That's good, dude. That's some.
Yeah, this looks
good.
interesting.
What is this one called?
This one is called Mind's Eye.
Mind's Eye. Interesting. Okay.
Right. And let me get the other list of games. But there was a lot of games. I forgot about that one. Mind's Eye is one I'm interested in to
That looks
play.
interesting. Did it give you a premise? Did they say anything about it? Like what the premise was?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay, I'll look it up.
You don't think it'll be open world, Brain? You think it looks too good? I think this is made by the ex-Rockstar founders. Oh, is that what Mind's Eye is? That's where Dan Houser and stuff went? That's their new game? Ooh. Now you got me interested. If that's what that is.
I got to take a look.
Saros, that's the other one. That's the Returnal one. They didn't show anything about it though, right? Did they show some gameplay for that? Let me see. There's a 2-minute trailer. Let me see if I can bring this up.
What is this Saros everyone keeps talking about?
This is the basically what's it called? This is the people that made Returnal.
Okay.
So this is like a sequel, predecessor, whatever that you want to call it. They don't show much of anything, right? They just show like cool graphics. They say it's coming out in 2026, but I feel like it's farther along, like further down.
Is that Unreal
Successor?
Engine 5?
Jason says it's a successor.
Is that Unreal Engine 5?
I guess so.
Does anyone know what the engine is?
It ends with gameplay. Yeah, it says 2026. Yeah, just cinematic. When you see cinematic, it's off. It's off a bit.
It sets the stage.
6 to 12 months, I would say.
Not Unreal, sir. Okay, thanks, Taco.
So that looks cool. All right,
it looks interesting.
I didn't play Returnal.
That looks like a good group, man. That's a good grouping of games.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I don't know why people want to fight over of like, well, this game's coming to my console and your this is it, man. This is 2025. Like, more games are coming to more places, and you should be happy as a gamer. You should be happy as a customer. You get to choose where you want to play the game. If you want to play on Sony, buy a Sony. Right? If you want to play on Xbox, play on Xbox. If you don't want to buy a console at all, right? Play on the cloud or wherever, right? If you want to play on GeForce Now, if you want to play on Steam, if you want to play on Epic, whatever it is, right? There's so many choices, and that's the coolest part.
listen, I know there might not have been a lot of huge, like AAA craziness in there, but that's a good lineup for games. That's a good lineup.
Yeah, so that's majority of that. Let me see what else we got here. Next story, Sarge, is Wonder Woman, WB, and
DOA,
Wonder
bro.
Woman.
DOA,
Right?
bro.
Do you think this is coming out?
Nope, I do not.
Do you think this is going to get canceled?
Absolutely canceled.
Yeah,
Absolutely canceled.
So Jason Schreier did a story, and they said they're having turmoil in there. Right? It got rebooted last year. They took out the Nemesis system that was going to be in the game, that was in the Shadows of Mordor and stuff like that.
Because that would be too cool. Go ahead.
And now they're making it into like an action adventure game. Do you think the game comes out and they try to make money off of it, or do you think they just pull the plug? You think they're going to pull the plug?
Nope. They will not even try it. Nope.
Yeah. Which is sad.
Let's put it this way. I'm concerned about the Wolverine game.
I wasn't until you just said that.
I'm concerned about the Wolverine game because that's further along, and they don't know. I don't think anyone knows what they really want to do. And I think
here's the big things: the state of play. They didn't show Wolverine. They didn't mention Marathon.
Nope.
They didn't mention a lot of their first party title games
because they got nothing to say. They got nothing to say about them. That's why.
I mean, I guess they could wait until their next state of play and then show Wolverine. It comes out in like 6 months. Do we think they pushed it back because of Grand Theft Auto? I mean, does it get pushed to 2026 or is it coming out in 2025?
Which one?
Wolverine.
I'm concerned about that as well.
You think
unless I see some footage this year at Keighley Fest or whichever thing, and unless I see something this year, I don't think that's coming out either.
Yeah, I think they hold back.
It's too far along for us not to see something.
I think they hold it back because of Grand Theft Auto.
If you don't show me something, I don't think it's coming out.
Here's my thought process, right? If Grand Theft Auto comes out like we all think it's going to come out in October or November, okay, that is going to be because PlayStation will probably get the marketing rights. They'll put money into Grand Theft Auto for marketing rights. Not saying it's just on PlayStation, but they'll probably put money up for marketing rights, right? So they'll get pushed on it, and that is going to push and sell, okay, systems for PlayStation. And because of that, that's a third-party game. And I think the third-party game can push sales for PlayStation's consoles to push it towards 80, 90 million consoles shipped, sold, whatever, okay? And I don't think they need to have Wolverine in there. I think they can make it that with just Grand Theft Auto, and then next year they put Wolverine out there as their big game that they're coming out with next year.
That's a possibility. But I'm still concerned. I don't think anybody knows what the fuck they're doing anymore. Like, how do you not make a Wonder Woman game? I mean, doesn't it fit all the check boxes that all these crazy people want to do? Empowered female, all the special abilities you could do with Wonder Woman.
Oh, you talk about Wonder Woman, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it checks all the boxes. Like, if you can't make a Wonder Woman game, then you don't know who Wonder Woman is. Like, you don't know what it is.
Like, Lara Croft is a badass character, and she doesn't have any superpowers. And meanwhile, you have Wonder Woman here, who is like the quintessential badass woman.
It's sad imagine you being able to do a Batman game, and everyone's okay with that one, but you guys can't figure out how to do a Superman game or a Wonder Woman game. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it, especially with today's type of engines that we have. Like, I could understand in the past, like, it might have been very difficult to do a Superman game because you have to up the ante in a Superman game, right? It might start off like a Batman game, but it has to escalate quickly for it to be any kind of fun because you're fucking Superman. You're not walking around with a magnifying glass solving crimes as Superman. Like, it's fucking Superman, right? So I could see in the past how that could be a problem, but with today's engines and today's hardware, like, you can make a good Superman game or a Wonder Woman game, and they just can't, right? I don't think that they are allowing the talent to make the game that needs to be made. They're too concerned about the monetization of the product instead of letting the developers make the actual game. And that's the issue. Because they want somebody in the development team to say, guaranteed 30 million copies. Like, they want to hear the words. Like, there's no guarantee on any of this shit. You have to make a good game and sell it. But they They refuse to go through the process. They want a guaranteed banger day one, and that's not how it works, man. It's just not how it works. So then they start saying shit like, well, Wonder Woman's not marketable, which is hilarious. Or they'll say that
I don't understand.
Or so and so's not. We can't market it. Like
nobody wants to play a Flash game,
right? You can market Batman because he's been around forever, but Wonder Woman you guys can't do because raise your hand if you don't know what Wonder Woman is. All the motherfuckers that raise their hand, they don't know. They don't know.
I'm glad you brought up Batman because Warner Brothers Rocksteady supposedly is making a single player Batman game again.
But do they want to?
I don't think they want to, but I think they have to.
That's my question, right? Do they want to?
They struck out twice, right? Gotham Knights came out and Suicide Squad came out. And it's two games that it wasn't the Batman game people were looking for.
Because it wasn't the type of game. You're trying to do a live service nonsense. It's not the kind of game.
Right. Gotham Knights was a live service that looks like they got changed from a non-live service, which I liked. And then Suicide Squad was a non-live service game that got changed into a live service game. Why those people left Rocksteady?
Do you know when I need motivation, I watch Larian's studio head do the speech from the Game Awards.
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
When I want motivation, like positive motivation, I listen to Larian's lead studio head do the speech from the Game Awards.
What, just make a game, sell a game?
He basically tells you.
I know.
He basically tells you the downfall of the entire industry and why they said outright that they would not make a sequel to Baldur's Gate 3. Because he says it right to their faces. He goes, "We made the game that we wanted to make, and now we're moving on to something else that we want to do." Right? And that's how the whole industry is supposed to be.
Should be.
They want guaranteed money. That's not how this works. If anybody's telling you, let's put it to this way. Anybody else that cancels a game before it's released because it can't hit the numbers that they want to hit, just cross them off the list of any kind of competency at all. There's no reason to follow them. If you can't follow through with a product and go to the end because you can't hit the imaginary number that you want, there's no point in following them. There isn't, because they're not allowing the development team to actually be creative. They're just trying to do copy pasta, and you're not going to get far. You might get lucky, but you're not going to have a repeat. That's for damn sure.
Kingert says Wonder Woman isn't marketable, but Captain Boomerang is.
Yeah,
they printed money with Superman. They're idiotic.
Well, Kingert just
idiotic,
walked in. Kingert just walked in. Kingert, we were just discussing it. Do you believe Wonder Woman will be canceled? Do you believe Wonder Woman will be canceled?
Yeah, I think we see Vagoted. I think Wonder Woman gets Vagoted.
I'm in the boat where it's not coming out at all. That's the boat I'm in.
And if it comes out, it's going to be a shill of what it was because they completely rebooted it and changed it, right? And they're going to try to do something to it.
It's just disappointing that we have to sacrifice, and I mean mental well-being now, right? I'm talking about like development teams, like talented developers who have been mixed up now with different studios trying to do the same fucking shit and getting destroyed, right? Your positivity for your profession and why you chose it and why you keep doing it gets tarnished, right? If you're not part of a team that wants to succeed and actually finish a product, and you keep getting thrown around and fired and let go and tossed around, like I'm not saying shed a tear for everybody on the planet here. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is this has been going on for a while, right? So you're damaging your talent pool, right? You're damaging it where they don't believe they're good enough, right? And I know that sounds a little crass, but when you keep putting people down like this, where you don't want them to even finish a game, you don't want them to do what they're like. If you're a creative person, you're supposed to be allowed to create. It's not in a box,
right?
You can't say to the artist, "I want you to create something, but I want you to go inside that box and create it." Well, there's no windows in that box. Well, that's where we want you. We want you.
That's what we're giving you. Yeah,
like that's not how it works, right? You can't mix the two.
Yeah, artists like blank canvases. They don't like to come in and be told what they can do.
The best work we have ever seen throughout the history of gaming came from studios who were going balls to the wall and they had no idea if it was going to work or not. Right? They had no idea if it was going to work. They had an idea, they believed in the idea, and they just followed through with it. They this is what we want to do. Let's see if this works. right? Those are the bangers that you remember from when you were a kid, right? Those are the games that stick in your mind, sort of, because balls to the wall. They had to succeed or die.
Right.
That's how they did it. Now, I'm not saying every attempt should be that way, but look at the games that we got that were never tried before. Look at them.
I'm worried about Hogwarts Legacy 2, Krebsy, because Hogwarts Legacy 1 was a really good game, and now they're going to make it into more of a live service potentially, and they could use the Nemesis system, but they could also ruin the game by making it into a live service aspect of it.
The question you have to ask yourself with Hogwarts is, right? It's the opposite of everything else that they've done. They didn't know it was going to be that good. Right?
Well, no, I think they knew it was going to be good.
They didn't think it was going to be that good.
I don't think it was maybe 10 million copies, not 25 million copies.
They thought it was going to be a decent game, right?
Yeah.
Now the problem
like 7 to 10.
The problem with that is you really can't beat that unless you have a really good storyteller. You cannot beat it.
Right. Well, that's another problem now. Now they've set the bar where now it's 25, right? 25 million copies sold. Now they're like, well, we're going to sell at least 25 million.
That's not how that works.
Right. But that's how they think that works. Right.
Right. You did all the cutesy things for all the lovers of Hogwarts. That's why the game did so well. You recreated the school in the game and had everybody had the fantasy of going to Hogwarts.
Well, it was also the media, which we know potentially was bought and paid for to speak certain ways, like we talked about in the very beginning of the show. Okay. And it was just stirring up the pot, and people were like, well, if you're going to boycott that, then I'm going to buy 2 copies. Right? Like people were going out and buying copies that not even playing the game just to support the game. Right? So it'll be very interesting to see Hogwarts Legacy, especially the timing of where it launches and what other big games are coming around that time. Because when Hogwarts Legacy launched, there wasn't that many big games or anything when it came out.
Smart. So that's also smart. But here's the deal: how long have they been in development for?
They were doing that for 6 years, I think, 5 or 6 years development.
So we don't have to worry about that game for quite a while.
Well, the next one doesn't take 6 years because they already have the assets, right?
I got it.
So it take like 3 years to 4.
Maybe.
Yeah. You would assume because they already have the assets built and whatnot. Same with Spider-Man. Spider-Man took 4 or 5 years to make, but the second one they pumped it out 2 years later, right?
Yeah, still got to do the animations. Still got to do the storylines, storyboards. You still got to do all that shit, right? And that's sure. And that's going to be the main selling point for that game is what's the story going to be about, because you already did all the cutesy stuff. How do you make it? How do you one up yourself? Doesn't have to be 10 times better, but how do you one up yourself in the game?
All I wanted them to do for Hogwarts Legacy, and same with Starfield, was to do a Grand Theft Auto model where you play the single player game, and when you're done playing the single player game, you can play with your friends online and go on missions, like have online.
But you're screaming live service when you say that.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, you have 25 million people that are in that world. They love that world, and now you think that all these people are guaranteed to go over to the next game instead of monetizing the people that you have in this game and make them play together and do different adventures and go on different things in the online version, sort of like what a Grand Theft Auto Online does.
I think they have a really good opportunity to expand on the world they've already created, do advanced spells, things that you have to learn better now because you already know the basics. Now you have to learn the advanced spells. And I think that some type of school versus school thing, or you have to go someplace else to visit other schools and maybe you see how they get trained or whatever else. Like the story would have to be a little involved in something that you'd want to take upon yourself. Like can't just be like a hunting quest type of thing.
Right.
Like you're like your fetch quest. You're going here, you're going there. Like you have a real opportunity to expand on the Harry Potter world in that game because they did such a good job with the beginning of it. You laid the groundwork. And now you just need to expand on the bones that you already created.
Roadkill says all 30 wants is live service. No, I don't want live service. What I'm saying is, in a game like that, it's a choice, right? I don't want a single player game that shoves live service into the game. What I want is there's a single player game. If you want to go play Grand Theft Auto 5, you can go play Grand Theft Auto 5. Never ever touch the online. You can play that single player story over and over in that wide open world. Have fun. You can do the exact same thing in Hogwarts Legacy. I could play that game over and over and over and just be my own little guy in my own little Harry Potter world, okay, and never ever touch the online. Instead of making a sequel and making that a live service game, you could add a live service aspect to the single player game, an option of making it, not ruining a franchise, making it a live service game, adding on a live service element that people that want to go play that, they can go play it.
You might be able, for the Hogwarts fans, you might be able to treat it almost like an amusement park where all the spots that you can go in the game, in the books, you can actually go in the game. Like the ones that they did in the game that weren't there the first time are now there in the second one. So like there's reasons to do all the spots in the books that you remember, right? You know, not so much as the member berry type of thing, but like if you're trying to round off the edges and trying to make it a more complete world, then give everybody the locations that they know about in the books that they've read.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then incorporate that into the storylines. That's
I even said Hogwarts Legacy should charge DLC. They should charge for new DLC for story elements and stuff like that. I mean,
that game probably could do so much better with a DLC type of thing because you have the guys who are interested in that chapter of the thing to buy that DLC.
You just continue the story into the next year or whatever.
Yeah,
into
you just keep going.
School year. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that.
All right, I want to go down some numbers here for PlayStation. Okay, PlayStation had some numbers in their financials here, so we're going to go over this real fast. This is the
was it numbers or financials?
It's numbers.
Like actual numbers?
Yeah, like numbers. So PlayStation, Sony's PlayStation fiscal year 2024 quarter 3 fiscal results. PlayStation 5 units sold 9.5 million. Now here's the thing. A lot of people don't understand this. Okay. Sold and shipped are two different things. Okay. When they do financials like this for big companies, for Nintendo, for Sony, for Microsoft, I even said for Samsung, any big organization that's sending a bunch of stuff, okay, these finances are shipped, not sold. So this is me not shitting on Sony in any way, shape, or form. This is from Sony shipping that the Target, Walmart, Best Buy bought from the manufacturer to put in their stores, right? And then you don't know what they sell until the person buys it from the store, signs up for their PlayStation account, okay, a PSN account. That's when Sony goes, yeah, we have a new user, right? That's a new user in our ecosystem of stuff. That is sold, okay? Because now that person's in the ecosystem. If you go to Costco right now or Target right now, they have like 10 or 15 on the shelf, okay? And they have a contract, right, Sarge? They have a contract to fulfill stuff where they say, hey, you buy these units, you have to buy 100 units from us. They put 10 or 15 on the shelf until they're done with those 100 units being sold, and then they have to go buy more from the manufacturer and so on for each quarter. How many do you want? How many do you want in your store for this region, for this place, for that place, right?
All right,
and these are shipped, not sold. All right, so 9.5 million were shipped. We don't know actually how many
now, if they say
were sold.
They could say much easier. They could just say how many more PS accounts opened up. That would tell you.
Well, it went from 65 million to 74.9 million now, which is the lifetime of PlayStation units shipped / sold. We know 64 million were sold, but now there's 74.9 million total out there about shipped, whatever. Okay. Full game software, they made $95.9 million. No, I get it. $95.9 million for the quarter last quarter. First party software made $11.6 million. Digital downloads, a 74% increase, right? Or ratio. And then monthly active users, 129 million. Now, 129 million active users. If there's
but that's both 4 and 5.
Right. 4 or 5, and even I would assume PC, the people that signed up for a PlayStation account network, right? Because they can track them or whatever, right? So there's the numbers for PlayStation last quarter. Okay, another number that we have. Let me bring up this. This is a number for Xbox. Where is this? So this one is Windows Central. This is this one. Okay, so this one is Xbox analysts. Chart shows that only 7% of games launched with Play Anywhere support in 2024, a decline year over year. Now, what this is talking about, though, Sarge, is overall Play Anywhere is third-party developers making games to be played anywhere, right? So all Xbox games, first-party titles are play anywhere, okay? So no matter where you buy it, you can play it anywhere. If it's on television, the computer, the Xbox, the mobile, play anywhere. So it says in a recent analyst showcase, Microsoft uphill battle with the key differentiator against the PlayStation. Okay, it says yesterday, or it says at the end of the day, Phil Spencer previously described Xbox how it was more users than ever on console. The Xbox ecosystem features Xbox Cloud Gaming continue to grow on the platform. Indeed, Microsoft says the Xbox will acquire users features differentiator for the future, which things of Xbox Game Pass backwards compatibility and Xbox Play Anywhere. Play Anywhere is particularly exciting, giving the Xbox users the ability to take their games, save files, and other devices for me personally, and promise that the being able to take my Xbox save files to my phone via the cloud on Legion Go, PC gaming handheld, is what keeps the inside of the ecosystem. Now, the problem is that very few high-quality games are actually supporting this functionality. It says, after this post yesterday, a user reached out and shared his analyst and said which of the actual breakdown of a few new games actually support Xbox Play Anywhere year over year. So year over year, it was 12%, then it was 10%, then it was 8%, then it was 13%, and now it's back to 7%. You would assume that it's pretty average across the board, 13. So it's around 10% average across the board through the last 5 years. Okay. So as you can see, the percentage of the games supporting Play Anywhere actually declined almost by half in 2024 year over year and remained relatively flat for the past 5 years. Now, the chart is a bit indicament of how the feature is going so far. Developers don't seem to see the value in it and only opting in as part of a marketing deal with Xbox or a tie-in with the Xbox Game Pass. Capcom titles and Monster Hunter Exoprimal only went into Xbox Play Anywhere because of the marketing deals. The bigger titles like Monster Hunter Wilds and Resident Evil 8 are now nowhere to be seen. Maybe not at launch. Maybe it comes down the path. Who knows? Okay. Here's a little misconstrued thing that he says here in the article that I read yesterday. I'm going to bring it back up today. Is Microsoft-owned games generally support Xbox Play Anywhere out of the box for most part, but many don't. I had to buy recent Diablo 4 expansion twice for PC and Xbox, for example, despite the fact of cross-save support. Now, we looked this up. People that linked their GeForce account and whatnot that was Play Anywhere. They didn't have to buy it again. If you bought it through Steam, it's not Play Anywhere. If you bought it through the Windows Store to play Diablo, it is Play Anywhere. Right? So him not saying that we don't know where he purchased it. Now, I'm assuming it's Steam because it's not working, okay, for him, and he had to buy it twice. I would assume he's playing on Steam and he's not playing through Windows, okay? But that's just my speculation off of what he's saying. So first-party games Xbox makes for the studio are Play Anywhere. But overall, they're not forcing people to do Play Anywhere. But it's not false advertisement as far as all Xbox first-party games are Play Anywhere. So if you buy it once, you don't have to buy it again as long as it's in the Windows ecosystem.
It's not like a tremendous plus in the bonus category here, but it's an option.
Sure.
I mean, I'm sure with time, the more studios that make under Xbox will be Play Anywhere because they'll be first party, but you can't force third party people to play anywhere if they don't feel like doing it. You know, unless it's part of the contract, right? That could be easily part of the contract. Imagine if Xbox said to a third party developer, "We'd like you to make it to where the game can be played anywhere. Use our hardware capabilities or our software capabilities through Microsoft, and be able to do that." And they would say, "Okay, we'll put your game on Game Pass or get a larger cut." Or we'll give you a percentage if you do Play Anywhere. Like, they have leverage. They can ask for it to be done. No one's saying it has to be done, but it's still a bonus.
Right.
I mean, it's convenient. Right. But once again, all this stuff is up in the air because we don't know what they're thinking about, because they want to do a handheld, which we can't figure out why.
Yeah.
Right? We can't figure out why they want to do it. We don't want. They don't want to support the hardware they have, but they want to do. Is Nintendo pissing them off that badly that they have to have a handheld? Is that what it is? I don't understand the mentality. Care about your normal hardware, but you want to have a handheld.
They have to team up. I said this the other day. They have to team up with Steam. If Steam makes the handheld and then Xbox puts their software on there, or if Xbox makes the handheld and then Steam goes on there, but if Steam teams up with Xbox, that is the one-stop machine that you want to buy as a gamer, because not only can you play Steam on it, you can play Xbox on it, and you can play PlayStation on it, because the PlayStation games will come to PC at some point, and then you'll be able to play PlayStation games, Xbox games, and Steam games all on one platform.
Well, what if the handheld that they want to make is basically a handhelded streaming device, where you don't have to worry about the hardware in the handheld. You're just streaming the game live from Microsoft servers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, this is why I think that the rumors about the data transfer thing are coming to fruition. I think that they're still working on it. They're probably working out the bugs. And when that type of software is able to happen, then the handheld streaming device.
You're talking
Xbox,
about the amount of massive data that they can transfer.
The data transfer. Yeah. I think that's part of this equation.
Ray says, I hate when
that would stand to reason.
I hate when Game Pass save files are not compatible with the Steam version of the game. I mean, remember just 5 years ago, right? Again, as I said earlier, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, you could not play crossplay on most games.
Right.
Right. And now you can play crossplay. So you're looking at it right now saying, I hate that it's not compatible with Steam version of the game.
Yeah.
4 years from now, we're going to have a completely different conversation, and it will be. But right now, it's Windows, right? It's Windows and Xbox, because they own it. That's why. That's what they want you to push towards. That's the ecosystem they want you to get on.
Well, we're just trying to figure out why they want to make a handheld. That's all. Like, what part of the market do you think you're going to try to infiltrate now that you want to make a handheld?
Yeah, it's just weird what they want to do. All right, chat, if you guys have any questions, I have the red bars at the bottom scrolling. If you have any questions, put a Q in front of your chat. We'll mark it. You can ask us questions about the show. You can ask us questions. We don't have to answer your question, but if you have a question, you can put it in, and then we'll answer the questions in just a little bit here. While you guys are putting the questions in, we're going to talk about a little bit of entertainment here, right? Captain America Brave New World came out today, Sarge.
Doesn't look good, bro.
Are you going to go see it in theaters?
No.
Did you go see Kraven the Hunter when it was in theaters?
No.
I don't think anyone did. It only made $62 million. I wanted to bring this up.
Was that domestic or worldwide?
Worldwide.
Okay.
So basically, Sony's having problems with their non-Spider-Man films, basically, right? So real quick, let me look at Kraven real fast. Kraven made 62. What did Borderlands make?
6.
Borderlands. Oh, Jesus Christ. Borderlands
6, right?
made half of what Kraven made. 62 million is what they made for Kraven, and 32 million is what Borderlands made. That's so bad. Right? So anyway, Kraven bombed at the box office.
I told you I watched it on YouTube, though, right?
Yeah. I watched it at 1.5 speed on YouTube.
I watched it on YouTube, and they didn't even take it down. They didn't take it down for a couple of days before they took it down, which I thought was hilarious.
I think it's still up, to be honest with you.
No, I don't think it's still up.
I'm pretty sure it's still up.
You think that Borderlands the movie is up right now?
Yeah, I'll go look. Let me see. Borderlands movie.
Yeah, I remember them taking it down. Like it took them 3 days to find it, but they took it down.
Right here. Borderlands. Yep.
Yeah, but is it free, or do you have to pay for it?
Oh, that's a review for an hour and 45 minutes. Never mind.
Yeah.
That's an hour and 45-minute review. Okay, so it looks like it's down. I'm sure you could find it, though, somewhere. Yeah. But yeah, it was up there for a long time.
Yeah, it was like almost.
They lost millions. They lost millions. Yeah, but did you see it? Did you see it, though? Right? But Kraven basically lost a shit ton of money. Morbius lost a shit ton of money, and Madam Web. When Morbius came out and it sucked, nobody thought after that we could see a worse movie than that, right?
And they said, "Hold my beer."
And then the next one came out and just did worse. And then the next one came out, and then The Flash came out, and then on the Marvel side, Shang-Chi and Black Widow and all. It was just like a vortex black hole opened up for the movie industry, and they were just putting stinkers out left and right, man. Left and right, they were putting stinkers out. And now they're hoping that they can make some money with they have Spider-Gwen in the pipeline. Okay. They have Nicolas Cage playing Spider-Man Noir. okay, as a TV series. They have the Miles Morales, the third part of the animated movie, which got delayed, by the way. And now they have another, I think, trilogy for Tom Holland with Spider-Man. Spider-Man 4 is in the works right now. So they're in trouble. Sony entertainment-wise, I've said this before. I think Sony at one point looks at this and says, okay, if we can only make money off of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, maybe it's better if we just sell it back to Disney. Because if they can only make money every 5 years, right, for that one franchise, and they just sit on it with nothing else going on in the next 5 years, they might as well just sell it off back to Marvel, and then Marvel has the whole Trinity back together again, right? They have everyone underneath one roof.
Yep.
But we'll see what happens there. Aren't they making a Morbius 2? I
doubt it.
I don't believe so, considering this article right here says Sony literally canceled all projects moving forward because of Kraven. Kraven did so bad, they said, yeah, no, we're done. We're not. Why would they go forward? Morbius 2? Morbius 1 lost money.
They would lose less money.
Morbius 1 lost a shit ton of money. Krebsy says, but they can make money on other things. Other things had actual quality. I mean, perhaps, but again, if they're only doing Spider-Man to keep the license, is it worth it?
Not to the fans,
right?
Not to the fans.
All right, we got a couple questions. All right, let's get to Q&A. All right, first question. Dupless with the hard-hitting questions, Sarge. Hard-hitting questions. Chunky or smooth peanut butter? Come on, smooth. It's smooth.
I mean, most of the time it's smooth, but there's certain things for chunky.
That's smooth. All right, next one. We got Altern says, do you believe that Battlefield Labs could save the new Battlefield game?
No.
Yeah, because I actually think it could do more harm than good. Because if you have a vision of the game and you have internal Q&A testers for the game, they're on the same page, right? They're making the vision of the game, and these guys are making it make sure that it works from their vision. This has the opposite attraction to it, where they have a vision, and then these people push back and say, we don't like your vision. You need to make this game more like this, or more like this, and this will be successful. Then they go back to the drawing board, and it's like back and forth.
That's the Monday through Wednesday crew. Then they listen to the Thursday through Sunday crew, which is in Europe or something else. Like they have a different idea. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I think it's more harm than good.
What are we doing? 4 studios, bro. 4.
Do you think? Oh, you already said it. You said it can't be saved. Let's see. Altern says, if you had to buy one of the PlayStation PS Showcase, which one would you buy? Mind's Eye, I think, would be the one I buy. The game Mind's Eye.
You're talking about the games that we saw for the
all the games at the PlayStation's State of Play. Which one would you be interested in buying if you had to buy one?
Borderlands 4.
You would buy Borderlands 4? Yeah, I would buy.
If I got to pick one.
Yeah, I would give Mind's Eye a shot. Let's see. Next one. Altern says, did you mention to Sarge the game idea? I did not. So let me
don't say it live on things. Someone just jack that shit.
No, they can jack it because I want to play it, right? Because if I'm never gonna make it. All right. So last night, me and Altern came up with a concept of a game. Okay.
Yeah. Is it a live service?
I guess it could be. It could be 100. Let me tell you. It's Godzilla.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, it's Godzilla. Okay. And it could be played in 2 different ways, right? There could be a version where, think of Starship Troopers, where it's like 16 against bugs, right? But make this a game where it's 100 people going up against Godzilla, okay? One of my ideas was it's 100 players, so Battlefield. Think of Battlefield. You're all working on the same team, but you're going up against Godzilla, okay? It's like a defense type thing. You're protecting a city, and the whole goal is you have to stop as much damage as possible to happen, okay? So Godzilla can be controlled by a person, or it's just an NPC that comes on the thing, and you have to work together to try to stop him before he annihilates the entire town.
1 versus 100. That's
okay. So while you're doing this, it's strategic. So there's certain bases or things, buildings on the map, and if Godzilla destroys it, then you don't get to use tanks or you don't get to use airplanes. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have a group of people protecting, set up barricades and set up stuff to certain key points. Okay, and you're all fighting. And
is it a clock base? Like you have a certain amount of time to stop him?
One death. You die, you're out. Okay, but when you die, it builds up where you get something. So like if you lose 10 people, all of a sudden maybe you get a attack helicopter or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it helps you to try to stop it. And at the end, it's like a score for Godzilla, right? And you can just unlock more and more. So it's like Evolve, but just fucking on steroids. You see what I'm saying? It's like Battlefield, it's like a battle royale, and it's like Evolve. That's it. That's the pitch. It's Godzilla destroys a city, and you have to work together with a group of people to try to stop the dinosaur from destroying the place.
I don't think anyone can work together good enough to stop Godzilla. Let's put it that way.
Well,
because it would just be open mic, everyone screaming at each other. No, do this. No, do this. No, do this. No, do that. Bring that guy right here. No, that. Crush. That's the end.
And I said, if you can't find people to play with, you could play single player, right? And you could tell the NPCs what to do. So it's like a strategy game for yourself, right? So it's sort of like Battlefront, where you can bring in people, or Halo, tell people to come in, and you're like, go to protect this, go protect that, right? And you try to stop it. I don't know. I would play a game like that.
I mean, it's something different. Let's put it that way.
That's exactly right. Something that it's not out there right now.
But it's not made by the same people that made King Kong, right?
Oh no, we definitely don't want them to play. People like Gollum or King Kong cannot touch this game.
Okay,
right.
Gotta have standards.
Unreal Engine 5 already has Godzilla, already in the assets. Okay, so maybe Fortnite will get on it. Maybe they'll make a game mode. Okay, but how cool would that be? You have to stop him from just different cities, different monsters, right?
I mean, I wouldn't mind a remaking of King of Monsters with the real guys. Then, you know, like real Rodan, Godzilla, like the real monsters from the real old movies, to use them in some kind of attack fest. I think that would be interesting. I think a 4-player mashup where a bunch of NPCs are trying to kill you and you have to kill the city, similar to what you're saying.
Right. Well, I even said it last night. I was like, you could do it with everyone. And he's saying it right now. You could do big monsters against soldiers. You could do it against Transformers, Marvel, DC. Like, think about Marvels, but you're going up against Galactus. Now, Fortnite did this where you were like Fortnite characters going up against Galactus, right? But think about like Marvel Rivals copied Overwatch, right? But now instead of fighting Godzilla, you're fighting Galactus, and Galactus is trying to eat the planet, or Ultron is trying to eat the planet, and your Transformers trying to stop him. You know what I mean? Like
that's the head I saw in the new Fantastic Four movie. I saw Galactus because
Galactus is in the Fantastic Four. Yeah,
the shadow head thing.
So that's the game that we pitched. Next question. Did you mention? Oh, I already got that one. Krebsy says, is what Overwatch announced recently a good response to Marvel Rivals? And if not, what would it take? PvE can't be the answer because, in my opinion, 5 Suits thinks that doesn't have enough our return on investment. In my opinion, it has to be PvE if they want to compete with Marvel. Because if Marvel does PvE, then Overwatch has to do PvE. You see what I'm saying? They've already lost they're losing their grip on reality of how many people are playing Overwatch. Marvel's rising fast. If they come in and start putting a single player aspect or PvE aspect in their game, then Overwatch doesn't have a problem. They have a problem. They have to do what they do. They have to be reactive to what Rivals is doing. At least in my opinion. What do you think, Sarge?
I don't think they can pivot. I don't think the staff that's working at Blizzard right now knows how to pivot at all. I think they're probably working on something else to release, but the current IPs that they have, I don't see them trying to pivot because I don't think they have enough resources to do it. I think they're concerned about their up and coming IP than they are current.
Microsoft's picking up the phone going, or Blizzard's picking up the phone to Microsoft. Phil, can you know a guy at DC? What about if we make a DC Rivals competitor and we just compete with them with the other
I
brand.
mean, I would like to think that the guys from Blizzard could pivot. They should have done it already. Right?
You would think, but it's like a ship turning, right?
It's not that big a ship anymore.
No, it's definitely not.
You should be able to at least make some moves, right? And you didn't even follow through what you wanted to do. What happened to all the storylines for Overwatch 2? Like you guys did.
Yep.
You guys didn't.
They
Think
botched it big time.
You guys didn't think it was worthwhile. They weren't going to make enough money based on what they thought they wanted to do, so they ignored it. So somebody else came along and did it better.
Krebsy says, could be wrong, but did you see South of Midnight previews are out? Ask for a friend, totally not Mo. Yeah. Mo went ape shit in our Discord and posted 15 different video previews of South of Midnight, showing each person. South of Midnight's that stop animation, the Southern Magic game, whatever. It's that platformer. It's that the black girl that's inside the
girl in the bayou with the witchcraft.
Yeah, that's South of Midnight.
Okay.
Yeah, so it looked good. I think it looked good. I didn't know it was a platformer until they actually said it was a platformer. I thought it was just an action adventure game. I actually think it looks pretty good for a platformer. So we'll see. That comes out soon.
That's a Game Pass, right? Because Mo's talking about it.
Right? Yeah, it's on Game Pass. It's Game Pass. Sure.
Okay.
Altern says, if someone had a gun to your head and says you have to choose seeing the new Captain America or Pedotastic Fantastic Four, which one would you rather see? I would rather see Fantastic Four.
Pedrotastic.
Yeah, yep. Pedrotastic. I would have to see Fantastic Four over Captain America. Gun to head.
Yep.
I can get over Pedro if I need to. But I'm more interested to know what they're going to do with the Fantastic Four and how they're going to start that new phase. Because Thunderbolts is the last one in the phase 5, and then this one's the new one in phase 6. So it'll be interesting to see how they connect it. So, but I'm still not seeing either of these in theaters when it comes out. Altern says, are you disappointed that Halo did not appear on the PlayStation Showcase? Yeah, so there was somebody, it was a troll or whatnot. They started putting out, we're seeing Halo, we're seeing Mario, we're seeing Concord, right? They were putting all this stuff out. What I think is funny is the people that are the fanboy centric, the far left, the far right in politics is the fanboys to the Sony and fanboys to the Xbox. The fanboys of Sony are like, I don't want Xbox games. But yet they're the same ones that run with it when they're like, your game's coming to our platform and it's going to be shown, and then it doesn't show. Like, obviously it's going to show up sometime, but every time there's a state of play, they think it's going to be shown at that time. And look, it's been 5 years since Forza has been on the Xbox, so it's okay if it goes to Sony, right? It's been 4 years since Halo Infinite came out on Xbox and PC, and 2 decades for being on other platforms. So when Halo Infinite does come over to PlayStation, okay, cool, right? But it's just funny. People do those it's coming, you're waiting for it to come. They're like, we've already played it over on that platform. Like, good that you guys are playing more games on the platform, right?
I mean, you have a whole studio now that's working on Halo. I don't know what you're worried about.
Yeah,
right?
They're going everywhere.
They made a whole studio just for you.
Aren't
you excited to see what new Halo game's going to come out? Aren't you excited?
I'm super excited, Sarge. Can you tell? It's on my face.
I mean, a whole studio doing nothing but Halo. Imagine the volunteers for that.
Krebsy says, what land are you most excited to see at Epic Universe? Mario Land. I'm excited to see Mario Land.
No, the villains. The horror villains.
Oh, you're talking about like Dracula and Frankenstein stuff. Yeah, I want to go on the ride. I'm really excited to go on the Mario Kart ride or the Donkey Kong roller coaster or stuff like that. Right.
I'm just happy to see a new park besides Disney.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, but I'm excited for the Mario Land.
No shot, Dupless. No shot.
What did he say? Oh,
no shot.
Studio 343 renamed. Are we going day one? No, I'm not.
No
going day
shot.
One. No, I'm staying far from it day one. So when I got married in 2010, Dupless, they opened up Harry Potter Land in Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. And this is what it looked like. Here, hold on a second. Let me get a picture to show you what.
I mean, I'm excited that Universal has a new park at all, dude. I think that's amazing. I hope the pre-opening and stuff goes smooth for them, and they have a good opening, because it looks like a lot of fun.
This is a picture, and this is insane. Okay, if you guys have ever been to, let's see, that's there. Can I open up a new tab and open a new window? Okay, if you guys have ever been to, okay, if you've ever been to City Walk. Okay, City Walk is this giant area around the area. Okay, this is a line to get into the park, not the park, just the Harry Potter section. This is City Walk, and the group of people. This is full, wall to wall, people. Okay, surrounding the entire lake at City Walk, okay? And that was just to get in to that part. Now, we went by mistake to opening day at Avatar Land when they were opening it up at Animal Kingdom, okay? Me and my mother, she's like, let's go to Animal Kingdom. We totally didn't know that what was happening, okay? And we walked into Animal Kingdom, and there was a line. And when I tell you the line was started at the parking lot to get in, okay? And by the time you got to the gate before you walk into the park, it was a 9-hour wait from the park entrance just to get into the land of Avatar. I ain't going anywhere near Epic Universe when it opens up. It's insanity.
Can you imagine paying $150 to get into a park to wait 9 hours to see another part of the park? Think about that for a minute. I'm gonna give you $150 to wait in line for 9 hours.
Yeah, no shot. Staying.
Am I going to see Soundgarden? What the fuck
I'm not
is
even.
happening
I'm
right
not even
now?
getting on the road to get anywhere near that place because traffic on I-4 is gonna be a nightmare. Okay, I will watch it from the comfort of my home for the chaos of all the influencers going through there with their video cameras and going, "I'm a look at this." Right, that's what I'm gonna be watching. I ain't going there myself. Krebsy says, "What thing has given you the strongest emotion that has come from Doge? Where my tax money's going. That's the strongest emotion I have. To know that
what has given you your strongest emotion? What event did you see that gave you the strongest emotion?
Yeah, the event. Yeah, them going, hey, this is where your money's going. Where we have like $9 billion going to like basket weaving for whatever. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. It's worse.
Like the road down the road over here is decrepit. We need this fixed, but we can't have money, right? Like, what's happening?
Mine is this is the best one. In case you guys haven't figured this one out yet, it's out. There's an app now that has all Congress's stock.
Doge. Yeah, here.
Because of Doge.
I'll bring it up.
Has all the Congress's stock tips. So at the end of every 45 days, any stocks that the Congress guys have bought, it will go to your app and take the money that you have in that account and diversify into all the stocks that they have bought. And the reason why they're doing this is because the best one is Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi has a 31% return rate, but Congress on average has a 25% return rate. So that means if you just follow what the Congress buys and sells throughout the year, you'll be up 25% at the end of the year. So they have an app that just follows what they buy. That's fucking priceless. And the reason why they're doing it is because they want to show you how they're doing insider trading and put pressure on them. But at this point, if we're all going to make money, fuck them.
See, Dupas, this is where you're delusional here, right? I don't care what his taxes are because his taxes have nothing to do with my taxes into the government. We're annexing. We're auditing the government. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Right?
They work for us. I don't understand why everyone's surprised.
Yeah. I don't know why people are confused about how this country works.
They're upset. They don't understand. This is because anyone can rob from you. You don't understand how the country works. That's fine.
This is the total spending.
Live your life, man.
It tells the ages of everything. You can look at all the stuff that's happening on here. the most transparent thing you'll ever see, right? It's like I feel like I'm dreaming right now.
There are pages and pages of where the money goes, just pages.
It's crazy. It's crazy, right?
I'm excited about the app, man. I'm excited to get a 30% return. I'm going to follow everything Pelosi does.
Yeah, the government.
I'm in it to win.
This whole thing, it's not about his taxes. Department of Government Efficiency. He's not part of the government, right? I don't care what you want to pay your taxes. Don't pay your taxes. I want to know where my tax money is going, right? Where all this money is going. If you're on Medicaid or Medicare or you can't get something, well, this is why, because that money's going other places.
Yeah.
Okay. And now once they find the line, the tune, and clean it up, they go, okay, well, now we're now efficient. And now we can take this, allocate this money, and put it towards things that America needs.
Elon pays a lot of taxes, Dupless. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but he announced that he even showed his tax return a few years back. He pays a lot of taxes.
So,
and
I'm excited,
and he uses all the same loopholes everybody else does not to pay taxes. So that's also legal. So I don't know,
$25 million for Sesame Street. Yeah, for Sesame Street in Iran, right, or Iraq, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I'm paying tax. Here's the best part, right? And it's the end of the show. The U.S. aid, which was funding Politico.
It's not U.S. aid. It's USAID.
AID, but it's U.S. aid. It's what it is.
It's not. It's not.
It's not aid like they're helping fucking people. It's USAID, but people say it's U.S. aid. That's how they say it.
Because they want to keep thinking it's aid to other countries.
No, it's not aiding anybody. Right. Yeah. It's aiding and abetting people. Yeah. That's what it's doing.
Yeah.
Okay. They using Politico.
For real, Mo? I thought that was just a fake photo.
Right. And Politico is funding all these other outlets that are doing news stories leaning towards one side of it. It's crazy.
My favorite is the viral black guy who's screaming to other black people. He's like, "What are you all doing?"
What is this?
There's a viral TikTok. Is it not TikTok or it's on Twitter? The guy, he goes off for like 10 minutes about he's yelling at other black people about what's going on with Doge and like everyone's taking your money. Like they're like, what are you people screaming about? It's like they have been robbing you for the last fucking. He's just going off. I'm like
40 years.
It's hilarious.
40 years of this stuff has been going on, and we'll see what happens. Look, if you got a clean house, you got to get rid of it.
If you guys are not going to open up a fucking Robinhood account or Moo account or whatever account you want and be ready to make 30% a year on Congress, I don't understand what's wrong with you guys. Like, I'm ready to fucking let's go. 30% return.
Your salary is $250,000, but you're worth $9 million.
Let's fucking go, kids.
Yeah. So, and that is gonna do it for Generation X Gaming podcast episode. What are we at? Are we at 248? 228 or 428? Jesus Christ, dyslexic. 428 is in the can. We do appreciate you very much coming out and hanging out with us. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We're here Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can listen to us, watch us over on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and anywhere else. Where anyone else a podcast is broadcast. So
yeah, it's not just one stock. It's all the stocks. So you're basically putting your money in a conglomerate of stocks. It's called Fractor Investments, right? So the app will put your money in all the stocks that Congress has their money in.
Right.
That's what it does. So at the end of every 45 days, Congress has to show what they have purchased, and then the app that you have knows this, and then it takes the money that you have in that account and just diversifies the money in all the stocks that Congress has invested in. So you're just basically buying whatever they buy.
Yeah, imagine that. You think Congress is going to like that?
It's not one stock. It's whatever stocks they happen to be buying.
Yeah, that's not insider trading or anything like that, right?
Yeah, it's hilarious. I think the whole premise is fantastic. What is it called?
You're not allowed to use it, Dupless. You want them to tax Elon more money.
It's fucking hilarious, Mo. I'm telling you, guys have to look it up. App for.
I think this is good. We weren't doing anything
for the country,
different,
man.
Yeah, we weren't doing anything different.
Now it's different.
Yeah,
It's called the Autopilot app.
Autopilot app. There you
Yeah,
go.
Autopilot app.
And nothing Sarge said.
Invest like a lawmaker.
Nothing he says. He says nothing he says is giving you a financial advice in any way, shape, or form. He's just giving you an app.
Automates your portfolio by copying top-notch traders in real estate, including politicians.
Yeah.
Fucking priceless, bro.
Fantastic. All right, guys. We'll see you guys on the next one. We'll be back on Monday for the Daily Grind. Go check out some of our other episodes for the Daily Grind. I'll be putting up uploads. So if you missed the live shows, there'll be breakout videos of the stuff I've done all week. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Game on, guys.
Retro meets the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X gaming show.